Hey, have you guys ever heard of Patreon?
I think I have.
Yeah, I think it's like a royal guard.
It's that maybe, but also it's a website where podcasters and other creators can get people to give them money for making their product.
You mean we
on.
can get paid for this?
Kind of. For a mere $3 a month, you, loyal listener, can get drunk a starving podcaster.
I feel like we need some like Sarah McLachlan behind this kind of. I will remember you.
I almost did with arms wide open. I was like, that's not the song.
That's how you get people to not give you money.
So check it out. Patreon.com/worstpeople. That's WORSE. $3 a month. You get access to exclusive episodes. Find us, love us, support us. Thank you. This week, we sat for 3 long hours and watched The Postman. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
And this is Bad Movies.
Worst People. I wouldn't say 3 long hours. I mean, it would feel long to you.
You're right. It was only 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Short ones.
It honestly,
Kevin Costner filled amounts of time.
it really didn't feel like a 3-hour movie. I mean, I was drinking, so I had to pee once.
Yeah.
That's like your measurement.
I didn't pee twice during Killers of the Flower Moon. Speaking of Killers of the Flower Moon,
Go on.
do you like my segue, right?
I love it.
The original writer of this movie, who was fired, Eric Roth, wrote Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh.
He also wrote Forrest Gump and Dune,
Oh, dang.
among other things, but those are the big ones.
Those are the ones you care about.
It was him. I can't remember who was supposed to be directing, and Tom Hanks was starring in it.
Ooh.
And then when Kevin Costner took over, they were all fired.
Oh, shocker.
I mean, we could have had Tom Hanks playing swords with a burro
Yeah.
at some point in my life. I feel
Yeah.
robbed. I feel quite robbed. Damn.
This
it's a
movie-
mule.
It's just whatever I call it right now.
It's a Gen A.
If I was going anywhere, I was on a donkey.
But who directed Forrest Gump?
Zemeckis?
Okay, then that's who was supposed to direct this.
Oh, man, would have been a
If I
very
think
different
if I'm
movie.
remembering correct, yeah.
I want to say that's right. Keep going. I'll check it
Because they
out.
went,
but
they basically got fired off this, then went
I'm fairly
and
certain
made
that I'm right.
Forrest Gump.
That checks in
So-
my math.
Forrest Gump made $50 quadrillion, and this movie made $17.6 million.
How much was spent?
$80 million. $9 million out of Kevin Costner's pocket.
Ooh, that's a lot of dollars.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he was like, look, I get my money back, and then you guys can have the rest. So
I
the
would
studio
assume.
made like $8 million.
It is Zemeckis. And did you say Eric Roth?
Yeah, Eric Roth.
He's one of the writers on Forrest Gump as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He wrote Forrest
Yeah.
because they basically got fired off of this, and then went and made Forrest Gump. And then the guy who took over writing was a guy named Brian Helgeland. I don't know why he took over writing.
I do. Because he
Cheaper?
did exactly what Kevin Costner told him to.
There you go. That makes
Anytime
sense.
there's rewrites, he's like, yeah, you got it, dude. I'm just trying to
Because-
keep my job.
His list of credits include Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master,
Uh-huh.
976 Evil,
Ooh.
Highway to Hell,
Mm-hmm.
Assassins
Highway
with
to
Antonio
hell.
Banderas and
And Sly Stone.
yeah,
Yeah.
Payback, Mel Gibson.
I fucking
remake?
love that movie.
That remake of Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3.
With John Travolta.
John Travolta. Yeah, lick my bunghole, motherfucker. You know,
If you've never seen that movie, that's the only thing you need to know about it.
I've never even heard of that.
No?
I have the original
What
Taking
is it
of Pelham
called?
1, 2, 3. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I literally, if those are words I've never heard in
You're
order in
pulling a
my
Whitney
life.
right now where you just say it over and over like it's supposed to normalize
The
it.
Taking of Pelham. No,
Much like Danny the Beer Wolf.
If
and
you, if
he
you,
also wrote, Robin Hood with Russell Crowe.
Ooh, you know what? Maybe a better Robin Hood than the Kevin Costner one. Because
It probably made more money.
I love the Kevin Costner one, but the Russell Crowe one, not terrible. It's got Kate Blanchett.
I don't remember that one.
Kate Blanchett. It's a very young, not very young, early Oscar Isaacs. Mark Strong. Is that from Kingsman?
I don't know. maybe.
Well, it's got the guy from Kingsman, the bald head.
I knew Robin Hood with Kevin Costner and Men in Tights with Carrie Elways.
That's the only two you know.
I've seen two
Well,
Robin Hoods.
the animated Fox.
Of course.
The most
Oodalolly,
important one.
oodalolly. Golly, what a day.
Yeah, I've seen two Robin Hoods, and then one of them has an animated fox, and the other one has an animated adult man named Carrie Elwes.
I have seen all the Robin
You have
Hoods.
never seen the Kevin Costner Robin Hood?
No, I usually don't have 3 hours.
I do it for you. I die for you. Come
I
on.
mean, I've kind of seen it because everybody knows that Robin Hood Men in Tights is just Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, but shorter and funnier.
Without Alan Rickman, though.
Oh,
But
okay.
I am the
Caveat
only
that might
one-
make you watch it. It has Alan Rickman yelling at someone.
He's
I'll
the-
cut your heart out with a spoon.
He's the sheriff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what
Sheriff of Nottingham.
what's his face played. I can't think of his name.
The
mole.
I know him from Robin. Well, no, the mole is King.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of the king.
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
think the king who
Richard-
is Richard Lewis.
Thank you.
And the Sheriff Rottingham. I don't know the actor's name. I know him as playing Robin Colcord on Cheers.
Yes.
The only reason I know for a fact
God, that was
Robin
tough to
Hood
get out.
The only reason I know for a fact that Robin Hood Men in Tights is better than Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is because Robin Hood Prince of Thieves does not have Sir Patrick Stewart in it.
Well, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
True, but it does have Sean Connery.
he's the only
Not
one
better.
with an English
It does
accent.
have. Yeah, that's true. Unlike other Robin Hoods, I have an English accent. He's not wrong because I love Kevin Costner and I love that Robin Hood movie. It's not an English accent he's doing there
No,
at all.
it is not.
It's borderline Canadian and he's not even from there.
Well, you know, Montana, Canada.
He's born in California.
I'm gonna rob from the rich and give to the poor, eh?
Dude, so for years I swore, even though I love him, that Kevin Costner was Canadian. I just swore it
I
up
like
and
how
down.
you say I swore it even though I love him. Like I found
I
out he
love
wasn't Canadian, I
Canadians.
can't love him.
But no, I mean more like I thought I knew everything about this guy. I was
Oh,
like, well, yeah, he's Canadian. He's Canada's sweetheart, dude.
Okay.
And I looked, I was like, this guy is born in like Hollywood. You couldn't be further from Canada.
So the movie we're talking about is not Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or Men in Tights, or the cartoon, or with Russell Crowe,
It's Waterworld.
or the other one that came out like what 2015.
Joel Egerton,
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx.
that's the one with the guy from Kingsman.
Fair.
This one, The Postman, came out in 1997, the glorious year of 97, when I was starting 6th grade.
I was 8th grade.
I was starting puberty.
It's rated and it's 177 minutes long. And this
It's-
podcast will not be 177 minutes long.
I'll do what I can. I don't know which side I'm fighting for.
Directed by Mr. Costner himself, alongside his only successful movie from what I've found so far, Dances with Wolves. And he also directed Open Range, which I guess probably did okay.
I love Open Range.
I remember seeing it. I remember liking it.
It's him and Duvall
Yeah.
and an actor from this movie.
Cowboy stuff. I noticed looking through the IMDb that all the people who I was like, who the hell is this person? And I click it, and they're in all the Kevin Costner movies. So,
He finds people that listen to him.
yeah. I saw.
I mean, wouldn't you?
No, I would want some like creative differences at some point, you know, a little friction, yada yada. You can't surround yourself with yes men all
otherwise,
the
you
time.
get a 3-hour-long movie about delivering the mail.
Exactly.
I didn't hate this.
I'm just saying, I didn't hate
Whether
it
you hate it
either.
or not.
I'm just saying, I guarantee there was somebody in the editing bay that was like, hey, we should cut that shorter. And he was like, get the fuck out.
You cut that, I cut your nuts.
And stayed in.
I mean, at some point there was a visual effects supervisor, Trisha Henry Ashford, who was fired a few weeks before they finished production and replaced by the storyboard artist because of creative differences.
Meaning she didn't want to do
She
this,
didn't agree with
and
him.
he fired
Although
her.
in this case, I do kind of agree with him. Although this is what he said, so who knows if it's true. But she wanted to do a bunch of the effects in post-production, and he wanted most of it to be done in camera and on set.
I mean, if that's true, then I'm on his side as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I agree with that part.
Yeah.
But I also read, and again, IMDb trivia, so yeah, that
It's like gospel.
Sam Raimi was considered for directing this movie at one point.
That would have been cool.
That's a different movie.
Better or worse? Different.
Who would
Definitely
Bruce
different.
Campbell play?
Tom Petty's part.
Are you famous? No.
Did you used to be? No. I had a loyal following.
Oh yeah, you might recognize me from that movie Terminal Invasion I was in.
Weren't you in Spider-Man? like a doorman or something?
Weren't you in Moontrap with that short guy from Star Trek? That's the movie he was in, and I own it on Blu-ray.
Of course you own it on
do.
Blu-ray.
Of course you do.
Mark your bingo cards down now. Derek has something on Blu-ray.
It's a new T-shirt. It's just a disc, and it says, "Of course you do."
It should be.
We got to find all of our little isms.
And then I mentioned right before we started recording this, but the cinematographer, I had to write it down, Stephen F. Winden. He did a bunch of stuff, but his most notables are Deep Blue Sea
Ugh,
and Fast and Furious 3
Is Deep Blue
and
Sea?
Fast and Furious 5 through 10.
Deep Blue Sea, is that the surfer one?
Deeper, bluer, my hat is like a shark fin.
Yep. LL Cool J.
Okay, that was the other one I was thinking of. The LL Cool J's.
I think you're thinking of Blue Crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
I
Deep Blue
watched
something.
Deep Blue Sea recently just to like kind of, I guess, research for this.
To see if it's held.
Man, it was bad and not fun bad. It was not enjoyable bad. It was bad.
Did you watch it by yourself?
No.
Oh,
With
bleep and
beers
bleep.
and bleep and bleep.
All right.
We had beers.
That might be the problem. It needs to be watched alone, sober, and appreciated.
What is like? It's not the fucking Bible.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure because somebody in that movie died and they never came back, and I was waiting for days.
It's the Citizen Kane of shark movies.
We should ask Steve.
I think that would be Jaws, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking Jaws for sure. Yeah, we should ask Steve a little bit more about these Deep Blue Sea things.
All right. So let's get into Dirt World. Sorry, The Postman.
Might as well be Dirt World, dude.
It would. Yeah.
That was another piece of trivia I read. I'll just keep reading things from IMDb. Welcome
Go ahead.
to IMDb.
They're all true.
Apparently, a bunch of the extras referred to the production as Dirt World, but they weren't allowed to do it within earshot of Kevin Costner because he
here he
would
comes,
fire
here he
anybody
comes.
who said it.
It's nothing like Dirt World. I'm a drifter. Got a donkey. I'm trying to, live my life on my own, and then later I don't, and I save everybody. People want my seed. It's nothing like
That's what
that.
I was about to say.
So-
People ask me questions about my semen.
So Waterworld was before this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Waterworld was 95?
Five?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're right there.
One of them their years.
He loved the story of Waterworld. It's like every time I drop a camera, it goes to the bottom of the ocean. If I drop it on the earth, I can pick it up.
It's the ocean, not on the earth?
Yeah,
Well,
because
it's dirt.
On the Terra?
They're on the Terra.
well, he kept trying to ask James Cameron for advice for shooting underwater, but James Cameron wouldn't return his calls.
No, he kept asking to shoot on the water. James Cameron's like, that doesn't interest me. It's under or nothing.
So we have to mention we're doing this movie right now in February because for the month of February, we are doing all movies filmed primarily or partially in the great state of Arizona.
Arizona Touched,
Yes. This only has one...
which is the title of my Young sex tape.
Yes.
This only has one scene, but I mean, or it's a couple scenes, but one segment. But with it being a long movie, that's probably like 35 minutes of the movie, I
Sure.
think. It's the beginning, kind of. It's all filmed in Arizona there. Actually, right here in Tucson.
I mean, we could even fucking carry on from this and do Tin Cup, also Kevin Costner.
I know,
Also
it's
in
on, It's
Arizona.
on my list of Arizona
All
movies.
right.
But we can't do two Kevin Costner movies in a row.
Why
I
not?
could.
We did how many Marky Marks in a row?
Yeah, I know. I learned a lesson.
And
All them
Michael
Rambos.
Bay and Rambo.
Exactly.
I mean, and Rambo's we liked. It just got a lot.
It
So
did
I'm
get a
with I'm
lot.
with Derek on pacing. That is more than fine.
So this movie starts in the fictional future of 2013, the same year that Escape from LA takes place.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So you got fucking Kurt Russell hang gliding around here somewhere?
Yeah, Kurt Russell's just a few miles west,
Steve
surfing
Bus-
against sharks.
Steve Buscemi's driving him in some dope ass fucking Chevy. Sign me
Exactly.
up.
We have Will Patton playing General Bethlehem.
Character actor Will Patton. We got Falling Skies, a show we all kind of I think all like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love that show.
I
yeah.
mean, even at the end where I don't like the show, I still like him.
yes.
Gone in 60 Seconds, Armageddon, Bad Guy and Punisher.
He was also
the
in
Tom
No Way
Jane
Out
one.
with Kevin Costner,
Uh-huh.
against Kevin Costner.
Speaking of Gone in 60 Seconds, we also get a little bit part for Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Will Patton's also in Yellowstone with Kevin Costner.
Oh, you're goddamn right he is.
Yeah. And he was in that
Wait.
show. Yeah, he plays Jamie's real dad.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler
goddamn
alert.
right. Because I was confusing with the Josh Brolin one that came out, Outer Range. Or
Outer
something
Range.
like
He's
that.
also in Outer Range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I think
Outer
he,
Range is so.
The dude is just fucking working.
I think he
mean,
just did like he was just like, look, I'm in this house in the middle of nowhere. What you want me to film?
I got a cowboy hat on. I mean, what else do you want from this right
COVID's
now?
over. Let's do this.
But he's the other main character of this. We've got a few people who show up, and we'll get to them. But I had to mention Will Patton up front because I love Will Patton.
I had to say Giovanni Ribisi because I fucking love him.
Yeah, you know, based on the order of credits on IMDb, I thought he was going to be in this movie a little longer.
So before we get much further, first time seeing it for Whitney, I think you thought you might have seen
I
it,
thought
but
I had
then
seen it. I'm fairly certain my parents had got this, but I was, you
either
know, in
way,
high school.
it is
or-
out of your memory.
yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to call this my first time because I know I saw this, but the only thing I remembered, and that's why I thought it was at the beginning, I mentioned to you a lot of long, quiet sequences of Kevin Costner
Yeah.
by himself because all I remember is Kevin Costner and a donkey in the desert.
Yeah, it's like fucking Lord of the Rings going to Mordor.
Even the donkeys walked in that movie.
Actually, speaking of Lord of the Rings, did you catch the donkey's name?
Billy.
Bill? It has to be a reference to Samwise Gamgee's pony Bill.
Oh.
It almost
Why?
has to be a reference because
Because
they're
it's a
walking
pony
and it's a
named Bill,
pony.
they're
It's a
walking.
Bill. It's
Do you
his
think?
it's his
Do you
best
think
friend.
Kevin Costner really thought that hard?
Well, not
Oh yeah,
Kevin Costner,
no, I think
but
I
the
think
guy
Kevin
who wrote
Costner,
it.
somebody involved in this, is definitely a Tolkien fan.
I feel like like I said, Eric Roth wrote it, and then Bill Helgeland, whatever, rewrote it. That had to have been an Eric Roth thing. I feel like the guy who wrote Forrest Gump and Dune and Killers of the Flower Moon knows a lot about Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
The guy who wrote Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's the first thing that came to my mind when his name came up as Bill.
But so we start in the Great Salt Flats of Utah because the lake's dried up.
Great, huh?
And I gotta laugh immediately, chuckle to myself really, when you see a guy in the distance on a diving board that was in the middle
Jumping.
of a lake.
Oh,
at
it's
some
Kevin
point.
Costner.
It was,
Was
Kevin
it Kevin
Costner.
Costner?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was looking out and saw them.
No,
No,
we
go-
were
okay.
watching them.
I think because you see Bill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right there. So, but yeah, he is using this diving board like a
I
trampoline.
kept waiting for it to snap.
Why wouldn't you? It's Sunday. It's like there's no moisture keeping this thing fucking buoyant. That's not the right word.
Bouncy?
Bouncy, elastic,
And
Still not the right word. Just bouncy. Springy?
springy,
Springy.
sprungy.
Sprungy. That's what it is now. Now it's sprungy. You never know if it's going to come back up when you jump on
You
it.
headed the right way for a broken ankle.
We have like clips that we can hear. Something war. Of course, the world is destroyed because we've done fucked it up.
It's part of this movie that doesn't explain a bunch of what happened or what's happening.
Someone named Wholeness?
No, Wholeness is his name was Holn or something like that.
Holn. Yeah.
And wholeness is all this ideology that came after him.
Eats
He was
people.
a farmer. We know that because someone says like in a letter from
15 years ago.
15 years ago. Thank you. It's like that farmer Holn is causing all this trouble, and so now his legacy is an army.
So this is an alternate future. This is where we could be right now.
yeah,
Well, we'd still be in the bugs and the plagues or whatever they talked about.
bugs, long winters.
Yeah.
Which Tucson signed us up.
Yeah.
The rest of the world's suffering. We're like, oh no, I have to get a sweater.
I kind of have the feeling that 3-year winter, not so much a normal winter as a nuclear winter,
Let
because
me
they
have
talk
this,
about
please.
the shitty stuff coming out, the bad smell.
Yeah,
and-
the water's definitely tainted. He has to test it.
Yeah,
I
because
know
he's
that
that's
testing
true, that's true.
because Bill tries to drink some water and he's got to test it.
You know I need to test it first.
Yeah, and he
So
shows
risky,
this. He
Bill.
shows this fucking mule this vial of shit that he tested, and he's like, "You want to drink it?" And the mule's like, "Okay."
You're not very picky, Bill.
And he has
that's
a
what
great,
I like about you.
Yeah, he has a great line right after that. He's like, "Things I like about my ass. One, he'll drink turpentine."
I mean, he's a pretty fucking happy guy, just
Yeah.
being him and Bill.
Wouldn't
He
you be
starts
happy?
finding stuff. What's that?
Wouldn't you be happy?
Oh, absolutely. I
It's-
wouldn't want Bill there. That's too much to take care of.
He can take care of
I feel
himself.
like a mule mostly takes care of themselves.
Gotta hope so.
Are they like goats and stuff? They can eat cans, or is that just me making things up?
That's
I think it's a
you-
cartoon.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they eat shit, like not
Will they-
feces, but they eat like the weeds and everything that's
Will
like
they eat a
overgrown.
tin can? Yes.
Yes.
Can they
Should
survive
they?
on it? No.
Wait, are you saying there's no nutrients in a tin can? I've been doing it
Some.
wrong.
Aluminium.
But yeah, so he's going through this old gas station and also cut in with some flashbacks.
Yeah.
You know, he's looking at the mirror and he sees people at the pump gassing up for a family trip.
But why is the flashback like to the 50s?
It would have been his childhood.
No, it said he
No,
was
it said
born
born
in
in
73.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's just
He's
a throwback.
imagining Americana. I think is what it is, because he was the last of the great cities were destroyed. The narration says, which we find out is his daughter, when he was a child. So he's looking back on Americana kind of stuff, like what he would have seen in TV, Norman Rockwell paintings.
Yeah, it's an
that kind of
Elvis
stuff.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's rummaging around the gas station, pretending to watch TV. We hear
Reading a TV guide.
he paid $14 million for the Monday Night Football theme song.
Yeah, it really made it worth it too. Doom, doom.
They literally didn't even make them. They didn't make that money back.
No.
Not worth it, Kev.
And he ends up.
He got fucking box seats for the Vikings though.
Ooh, you know what? I wonder because he might have a great relationship with NFL. He much later did a movie called Draft Day where he plays GM for the Browns and is doing all this like wheeling and dealing and making like it's supposed to make the Browns look cool and it doesn't. But,
I mean,
what
it
can?
is the Cleveland Browns.
a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would make him look okay.
You think they're ever gonna get it?
No.
Never.
Not in
gonna
our
get
life.
It, never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Everybody keeps stealing Jack's thing. We're all singing now.
It's all right. You guys
I've
sound great.
always backed him up. Have I not always been your backup singer?
Not always, just on the podcast.
Well,
There's been times in the shower I've been singing and nothing.
I mean,
He's
do you
waiting for
really
it.
want to hear me sing when you're in the shower?
If I know you're there, maybe.
He's in the shower singing. He's like, "I'm wanted."
Won't it?
the
That's
fuck?
what he's waiting for.
Get the gun. Get the shower gun. We got intruders. It's a revolver in a Ziploc bag.
I was thinking it was just one of those salt guns.
That'd be much smarter. Mine's more of an assault gun.
I have one in the brewery.
But yeah, so we can see, he's worried about bandits or whatever because he's getting spooked by noises and it's just a deer. They're kind of setting up the world and the fact that he's all alone and doesn't want anybody around.
Yeah, and he gives you a little bit of a, I don't want any trouble. I know you don't. He would like to be left alone. He doesn't
Yep.
want confrontation.
It's my husband.
Yeah, leave
Yeah.
me alone. Let me watch this fake TV in this fake gas station. Well, it's a real gas station, I guess.
He's
It's a
going
real
around the guy,
TV.
Hey, whoever's out there, just what's the best part of the plague is less people. So move on. I was pretty excited when the world ended.
COVID kicked in. I was like, sweet.
I
Yeah,
get to stay at home.
We
or
watched
I have
movie
to?
after movie after movie.
Oh, man. When I
Not
had
much has
COVID,
changed for me.
other than the fact that I couldn't breathe and I almost died, it was great because I was just sitting on ass watching movies and I couldn't get up because I couldn't catch my breath and I would fall over. So I had an excuse to just sit there. I was much like Kevin Costner later in
I'm
this
going to steal
movie.
that excuse and use it for now.
I have COVID.
Yep.
No, but we did
Couldn't catch my breath.
We did a Keanu-thon and watched 13 Keanu Reeves
I think we watched
movies?
13 Keanu movies.
Woo-wee.
Maybe more.
And do you know what the kicker was? Before we even got COVID, we had already done the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended cut.
Oh, yeah. that's a
And the
good
Hobbit
21
trilogy
hours.
extended cut. So it was like, great. Well, there goes. What am I supposed to do now?
You could have gone all Kevin Costner movies. Dances with Wolves, Waterworld 2, The Dirtening.
Speaking of Keanu Reeves, though, and Sam Raimi, we did watch a Sam Raimi movie with Keanu Reeves. It's the one where he was a wife beater. He was a bad guy.
Oh.
I've never seen that before.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was
America doesn't
interesting.
like it, except for you. Maybe you.
But anyway,
Okay, go.
Kevin Costner goes to some little town and he starts doing Macbeth for all these little dirt kids.
Oh, but
it's-
Bill's holding the sword in his
Yeah,
mouth.
he pulls out. He has Bill
he brushes
come out.
Bill's teeth before this whole thing. It's cute.
Well,
He's
he's gotta
like,
make
I know the rules. Avoid civilization, but I'm hungry.
Yeah,
You're
he needs
hungry.
food, so he goes and performs in exchange for food. And yes, he does put a sword in Bill's mouth and sword fights him, which is great.
Yeah. And then Shakespeare's not great. He's not great, but it's the best thing most of these people have seen.
Yeah, and it was
Exactly.
a free show.
Except for one fucking dude.
That one old man, he's like, I love it. I loved Costner's comeback. That one old man is like, oh, I tried acting and I thought I was the worst. At least I won't die knowing I was the worst actor ever. And he's like, hey, how much did you pay to get in, Larry?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Larry.
And then immediately
God damn
follows
it,
it
Larry.
with, did that earn me some food? So it's like, well, they paid food. They did pay food.
Yeah.
One bowl of soup.
Actually, they didn't pay food because he didn't get it.
No, he didn't hit his.
Because Will Patton and his gang of
Here
hoodlums
comes
arrive.
the eights.
the eights or the
Fucking
wholeness
eight.
army,
Yeah.
whatever they
Well,
are.
so for whatever reason, it's the wholeness, but maybe like his specific thing is the 8. I don't know.
They have 8 rules.
well, that's
okay.
but that's from those are Holmes rules.
Yeah.
So like,
so they're the 8.
yeah. So his army was the eights. I don't know.
He refers to them as the 8, But all the town folk always say, what are we going to do about this wholeness problem?
Yeah.
Which, I thought was just a thing about being sluts. I wasn't sure what they meant.
All this wholeness around here is really driving me crazy.
Are you trying to say holiness? No.
When I was first reading stuff about this, I saw the 8 laws of wholeness, and I was like, the 8 laws of holiness. And then I read them, and I was
Hey,
like, whoa.
as a recovering Catholic, there's a lot more than 8.
I mean, minimum, there's 10.
You can't. There's 10 really big ones if you haven't heard.
I have not.
I've
only heard of
1 is
7.
live and let live. 2 apparently.
2 is you
according
only
to-
die twice.
And 3 is no fat chicks, according to Kevin Costner's character.
Oh, I thought we were listing off James Bond titles there.
The 10th commandment is Moonraker. Figure that out.
So Kevin Costner tries to run away from these people. They're there trying to take conscripts for their army, much like all of these like little armies in Africa.
But you got to make sure that you come from. Do you have the line written down?
Yes.
Because it's
all
pretty-
men between 15 and 50 of suitable ethnic foundation must show themselves.
Racism alive and well in Dirt World.
Yeah, but they do take at least half black dude.
Yeah, but they turn around the other guy who looked more indigenous than.
What I'll use the word that he says because he says Mongoloid, and that's means
Mongol.
like that is of Asian descent, and I don't know, maybe it's a really terrible word, maybe it's not.
I don't know.
I mean, I know of it in
I've only
reference
heard that
to
word used to something else.
Yeah, I know it in reference to like special needs people, like it's like
Yeah.
Down syndrome and stuff. People say Mongoloid.
Yeah,
Which there was one in there.
There was
Yeah.
someone with Down syndrome there who sells out Kevin Costner.
on accident. He's giving a friendly wave
But
down the
it's-
road.
Yeah, but I swear I've seen this kid, and I think this kid was the guy who played that character is in the show. What was that one teenage pregnancy thing I was watching?
Oh, God.
Secrets of American Teenager.
Oh, where they were always
Secret
having
Life of
sex.
You're having sex.
Dude, I walked in one night. Her and Zoe were watching this show, and it was like it's the most terribly written thing ever because it's just like, are they having sex? You're having sex. Everybody just
You
kept
know
saying
what
having
blowjob is
sex.
sex, right?
Wait,
I'm
it
like,
is?
there are other phrases for having sex, right? Banging, dorking, poinking.
Coitus.
I said poinking. That's not even a word, but it could be. If someone said poinking, you'd know what they meant.
Well, you know what? Maybe she's oinking for a boinking.
Diddling, scooting, booting,
Screaming for a reamin'.
Yeah. All of the above.
breaking down the dams.
A slurping gherkin.
She's begging for a pegging.
Anyway, the
Keep going.
the black dude that they do take, which by the way, one of the soldiers is like, wait, this guy?
Yeah, definitely calling out because he looks like Sinbad.
Yes,
I love
he
this. I
does.
love this guy. I just wish he was wearing like puffy, colorful pants and telling me jokes about
He had
his
the
ex-girlfriend.
freckles and everything.
Yeah, and being a genie.
Yeah.
Wait, wrong universe.
Not this universe. pal.
Yeah, we're from the other side of the hole in Outer Range.
That's me and
But
Derek.
he's played by a guy named Brian Anthony Wilson, who I just want to mention because even though he's barely in this movie, I mean, it is 3 hours and he's in about an hour of it, but that still makes it barely.
He's in the very first act.
He's in the first act.
the first act of the first act. And he's playing a character named Woody, which I don't know if they ever say that,
Oh, I don't think so.
but that's what the
Maybe one of the
IMDb's told
town
me.
folk do when he's getting pulled away.
But they end up catching Kevin Costner and taking him, Woody, and this other skinny kid who I don't think ever really comes back.
No.
And they take him to Tucson, Arizona.
Woo! Sorry, fellas. Not much to do here. You want to watch Sound of Music?
But we were definitely you babies.
Not Universal Soldier.
We were definitely commenting on not just the attire that they're wearing, because they have like cap beanies on and thick leather coats and everything. It's got to be like January, February.
Hopefully for these
Oh,
guys'
especially the
sake.
scene coming up where they have to sit on metal barrels in the
Yeah.
middle of the sun. Even in wintertime, that's going to be toasty.
It'll feel nice though.
Yeah.
This is like an open strip mine that's here in Arizona
I
because
want to
that's what
say
we
it's
do.
in the Santa Rita mines
Maybe. I just know it was in Tucson, or it was considered Tucson.
Or
so it's
Ina.
nearby.
in the quarry.
And yes, they are watching The Sound of Music on a projector. And the funny thing is, shortly here, the guy tries to show them Universal Soldier.
What you think would be this crowd's fucking jam,
Yeah,
right?
because they're now soldiers, right?
I guess it's not good music for sleeping to, or a good movie for sleeping to. Sound of Music is
But
better.
they're not like only the recruits are the ones that have to sleep because they have a run in the morning.
Yep.
All the soldiers that
20
are around
miles.
here, the ones that end up throwing the rock at the projection booth, they're all just already
is
in
multiple
the eight.
rocks.
But so where are you getting these rocks?
from the
Did you-
They're
quarry.
in the quarry.
Did you have a pocket full? They should already be gone.
But I just mention it. I mean, it's funny, but also I mention it because Universal Soldier was also shot in Arizona.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck yeah.
dope as fuck.
Good times.
We doing that one?
Yeah.
All right.
I own it on DVD
But
or
I
on Blu-ray.
kinda
Of course
get-
you do. All right.
I kind of get what they're going for, though. Of course you do. I kind of get what they're going for because you've got this rough and tough group, and they're all just like mercenaries or murderers. But it's quiet time. You know, want something soft.
the
You want
same-
Julie
They want
Andrews.
Nazis.
They're probably there all against their will.
They
So
want
they're
Nazis.
like,
Well,
oh,
they're
man.
obviously all like conscripted soldiers. Like I said earlier, it's a lot like the armies and stuff in Africa, that are like the warlords and stuff, where they take young people and or even adults, and then they like basically brainwash them until they want to be soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And then now here's the part I fucking hate.
Well, we see Giovanni Ribisi, which is the part you love.
I
He
do
shows
love it.
up,
Yeah. Oh,
playing a
he's.
character apparently named Bandit 20.
Yes, Bandit number 20.
I don't think it's his Christian name, sir.
I love that he is so good at playing a certain type of character.
He's put on a master class how to be derpy,
Yeah, super derpy.
and it's awesome. I mean,
And
he's just
super believable too.
he wants to be. He's thirsty for this army.
That's why I always
is.
thought that kid from the first Fast and the Furious was Giovanni Ribisi for the first half of the movie, no matter how many times I saw
It
it.
is.
it Jesse?
No, it's not.
Giovanni Ribisi is in.
He's in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Jesse from Fast and
He's in
Furious.
Jesse.
Sorry.
Did I get that right? Yeah.
I thought it was Giovanni Ribisi every time I watched that movie, even when I knew it wasn't.
And I can
Yeah.
see what you mean. I get it.
No.
Same kind of spazziness,
Giovanni Ribisi also in The Other Sister, also in Gone in 60 Seconds. If you don't know who he is, then you suck.
Also in Ted, which is not a great movie, but he is fucking terrifying. in that
Terrifying.
movie, and I will
Wasn't
never
he in
forget
the
his
reboot
role.
is it even a reboot? The movie adaptation of Mod Squad?
Yes,
Yeah, that wasn't
with
good.
Claire Danes
And Omar Epps.
Omar Epps.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I ever saw that.
We are watching that.
Ugh.
That will be on this.
Sounds awful.
No.
Wait. Oh, on this. Okay, gotcha. Good.
For this.
Although I've spent my last week watching just horrendous movies, and I'm like, I don't want to watch that. That sounds bad. Anyway, I do like Kevin Costner and Will Patton have like a Shakespeare off.
Yep.
They're like, because he finds out, oh, you were doing a performance. What were you doing? I was doing Macbeth. So they start quoting Shakespeare at each other. And this one guy who we find out has no tongue or balls.
Getty. Last name
Getty, yes.
General Getty.
every
maybe?
time,
Yeah.
every time
Lieutenant.
Will Patton says one of his lines, he's the applause sign. He's a human applause sign. He starts slapping on his
He
side.
sticks his arm straight out to the side and then just pats it down very slowly, like he's doing a one-armed Disney slow clap.
But then everybody is just doing one arm clapping
Because you
now.
got to keep your hands on your guns.
It's exactly. That's what I was thinking, because they can't put their gun down.
okay.
Patton does tell Costner, he's like, I can see in your eyes that you're a dangerous man. And he's like, no, no,
I'm not a fighter.
I'm not a fighter.
I don't want
And
no part of this.
it's hard for me to tell exactly how much time is spent to this camp because it kind of starts to act like a montage,
Yeah.
but then it doesn't feel like it's been that long when they get to the end of it. I'm just going on his facial hair.
I mean, he gets the brand, the 8 brand, and it's healed late in the next area. So I don't know.
Well,
The
we-
passage of time in this movie is baffling.
Oh,
It
we do
is.
have to talk about the sad thing in the room, man.
Yes, I know. This is the part that's going to kill me.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
the food, when he
right
gets
after the
food.
Sound of Music, when Kevin Costner wakes up, and by the way, he wakes up and asks Woody, "Did I win?"
Did I
after
win?
after I didn't mention Patton kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So
Not even
and
close.
After they do their 20-mile
20-mile
hike
run.
with
Run.
full packs or run, yes, then they're like, okay, now you get food. So he serves them up this
Gruel.
gruel.
Yeah, but what else would you call it?
Yeah, it looks
Gruel?
like shitty gravy. They're like, you guys get meat tonight, and I'm like,
Somehow
what?
you made it look worse than what they serve on the actual Nebuchadnezzar
Yeah.
in Matrix. Like I want the gruel. I want the paste
Yeah.
over the gruel.
Yeah, give me the remember the
Words?
hoses, the spray hoses from.
I wish
Matrix?
everybody could see Derek's hand spasming, trying. It looks like you're Pauly Shore trying to teach a redheaded kid how to milk a tit and son-in-law.
The island when
Oh.
they're getting fed out of the fucking spray hose thing.
Yeah.
This looks worse than that.
Yes. This is awful. Oliver Twist just said, "No, I don't want more."
And they reveal to Kevin Costner, this is the part that Whitney's sad about,
Oh.
that the meat in said gruel is Bill.
Because you have a character who never gets named, but we do know his name thanks to the God of Gods IMDb, Idaho.
Yes.
who's kind of like just
Idaho, Ida Pimp.
that is not true.
You want to try?
No.
She's offering to
I'm
sell
trying to
Jack.
pimp you out,
So
babe.
bad
Yeah,
movies, worst people at gmail.com if you want
there's
to
an
have sex with
option-
Jack for money.
Why don't all the prostitutes say no if there's an option? I don't get it. No, but Idaho's kind of like the drill instructor, hard ass to these guys.
Yeah.
And he is just poking the bear the whole time.
This is the Hugh Jackman looking motherfucker.
No, that's a little
this
bit later.
is the one that
He's in Open Range. He's in Django Unchained. Not a guy that you would know from a bunch of stuff, but he's the one that even says like, tell him what kind of meat it is.
Yeah, fuck you.
Never mind. I was like, no, this is the one that looks like Sylvester Stallone, but that's Getty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
That's
if Sylvester
Getty-
Stallone wasn't
Getty is Sly Stone that stopped taking steroids and working out and just got droop.
Got his balls chopped off.
Well, Stallone
Turns out
doesn't have
his
any
balls
balls
were in
left to get chopped off.
Turns out his balls were in his tongue the whole time.
So yeah, he's
Wait, where do you keep your balls?
so he just walks away with
What a wild ride we're on.
he walks away with his bowl of Bill and
Oh,
goes
yeah.
into bed.
I thought you said his Bullet Bill, and I was like, this
Bowl
isn't the
of
Super
Bill.
Mario Brothers movie.
And then Giovanni Ribisi was the last guy in, so they're like, you don't get to eat. The last one in does not get to eat.
They're like trying to weed out the weak
Yeah.
for sure.
Which
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And Costner gives him his Bill soup,
Yeah.
and he just starts eating this paste
Gruel.
with his fingers.
Yeah.
You know what? There are multiple ways to eat liquid food. With your fingers is not
It's
one.
This is
not
the
really
worst.
liquid though. It's chunky. It's
pasty.
thick.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
It's a chowder.
whenever they're in
Chowder.
formation and they're being trained, they'll say like General Hold, and everybody has to say, "May he rest in peace." And this part, they're all doing it, and Kevin Costner's just like, "May he burn in hell."
It's awesome.
It's- And Woody hears him, and I think Idaho hears him, but not quite, because he looks over and he's like, "The fuck that guy said?"
No, I think it was Getty looking at it.
Oh,
But
was it
either it
Getty?
doesn't matter. So many one of them.
They're very similar.
What'd you say? Except I can't ask that because I have no tongue.
Uh-huh.
Woo-hoo.
So we were introduced to the laws of 8, which are their laws. So we have 1, obey orders without question. 2, punishment shall be swift, which I feel like is part of the first one, but hey.
Oh,
3,
this is the sit down, have a seat.
yeah.
Have a seat.
3, mercies for the weak. 4, terror will defeat reason. Terror will defeat reason. We'll just okay.
I mean, yeah, you really wrote that down, like in your, not you, him. Like
Yeah.
that's in your tenets.
5, allegiance is to the clan with a C, according to the subtitles. But according to Will Patton, I don't know.
Well, he might be spending the K.
Justice 6, justice can be dictated. 7, any clansman may challenge for leadership of the clan.
We'll see if that comes back.
I don't think it will.
No,
I don't think it does.
No. And then 8, there's only one penalty, death. So yes, there is a guy. He tells everybody to sit
Oh,
down.
rule 9, there's no mercy in this dojo.
Rule
Mercy
10,
is
sweep the
weakness.
leg.
We are now changing our clan name to the 9 because of that sweet, sweet rule.
And then once we say sweep the leg, then we just become Cobra Kai. Rule 10, sweep the leg. Cobra Kai, do or die.
Cobra
Wait,
Clan.
that's not right. Cobra Clan with a K this time.
Woo!
The Cobra?
Boys. Come on. Cobras.
But there's a bunch of barrels they have to sit on when Will Patton tells them to sit down right before he goes through the rules. And there's one less barrel than there are people. So the one guy doesn't sit.
Not
I
for
would have
long.
sat down. I'm
Exactly.
terrified of this motherfucker.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would just like,
Yeah, you've rightfully seen him like do a bunch of nasty shit at villages. At the very least, you saw him kidnap yourself.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
sit the fuck down wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Whitney's
like, well-
staying alive.
There weren't enough seats, the guy says. And Will Patton's like, I didn't say sit in a fucking seat. So they string this guy up. And I thought they were going to drop him into the quarry. But Will Patton just fucking eviscerates this dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't really see it.
You just see the blood on his
This
face.
is why I wonder
Yeah.
what it was rated because it's a cutaway and then all of a sudden the blood splatter. I thought, well, if maybe it's PG-13 if is why we're
Well,
not showing
I mean,
this.
I guess the R would come from. I mean, there is some NERPs later.
Oh, we're about to get to them.
But I don't think he would have gotten an R. I don't think Costner would have gotten an R. Like, he would have cut the NERPs for the R. You took it to PG-13 to make it a more wide release kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I'm
easier.
just shocked we didn't see his butt.
Yeah.
I
He
love
likes
me
to
some
show his
Costner butts.
He likes to show his butt in movies.
I have a feeling, though, it had to come down to the level of
His
violence.
butt or her butt. We can only show one butt, and yours is sweet.
The level
Oh,
of
well, there
violence
is
and
blood.
also the reference to rape or attempted rape, at least. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's
That is true. I have to say that because when they do shoot, they shoot.
Yeah.
You get that. That's CG too? That's early
No.
CG.
No, the blood is squibs and stuff.
The bullets through the heads.
That looked like one of those quick cut kind
Am I
of things.
thinking of a different
Quick.
movie?
No, I think I think that what you saw is what Derek says a quick cut.
Yeah,
where
like the guy
it's-
is standing there, and then they turn the camera off, put the makeup on, turn the camera back on, headshot kind of thing.
I think I'm also thinking of something else. I'm
Okay.
thinking of I'm thinking of what I watched last night.
Oh, that had a lot of CG blood. That shit was full of CG blood and nips.
Oh, we're talking about Obliterated?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like I was trying to say, my roommate was watching it, and that CG is so
Your
fucking
imaginary
bad.
roommate was watching
Yeah,
it?
my imaginary roommate. But yeah,
Best kind of roommate, by the way.
my imaginary roommate just what I was what
so
I
you
say.
were watching it?
It's what I say when I don't want to say that I put the movie on. My imaginary roommate wanted to watch
The Notebook.
Miss Congeniality, and I love Miss Congeniality.
See, when I lived alone, I
He
had
loves
to
The
imagine.
Notebook.
When I
Do you?
lived, yeah, I thought it's one of those movies that almost got me.
Yeah, okay.
It made me sad. I didn't cry though. I've only
You know what
the
movie
only-
did
Well,
make
that's
him cry?
because you're mostly Robot.
You know what movie makes him cry?
every time.
Gone with the Wind.
Homeward Bound.
Well, okay, Homeward Bound. I wasn't thinking of that one. I was thinking of Infinity War.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Endgame. Sorry.
Endgame. When,
Spoiler
spoiler alert.
When Tony Stark dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, that he was just like,
You are such a nerd. He can't. Like he
I had
can't.
already been crying through half the fucking
Derek's
movie.
at a real life funeral, like, huh, bummer. Watches fucking Robert Downey Jr. die on camera, and he's like, oh no,
Yes.
here it
Well, you know what?
comes.
Exactly.
Almost any funeral I was at, I haven't seen that person as much in the last 10 years as I'd seen Robert Downey Jr.
Fair point, but man.
No, in all seriousness, I have seen Derek at a funeral, and it was not. He was pretty fucked up about
Well, I
it.
mean, he is human. I joke, but I just think that's his.
No, seriously.
That's just his
only because
programming
of who this
learning.
person was is why it hurt him. Other than that, I feel like if I don't
Well,
know,
you don't go to funerals of people you don't like.
Unless you're just
unless
really
your
hungry.
wife brings you them,
You're just trying to get the free
you're
food.
horny, horny
Hungry.
or hungry. No, you gotta be. How many? You've been to funerals.
Do I?
Bitches always want to get laid on funerals.
I don't know if that's true. I have never gone to a funeral with the intent of cleaning up. It's not. The only stiff one that needs to be there is in the fucking coffin.
Oh, speaking of stiff ones.
All right.
So we find out, this is where we find out that Getty has no balls. That's why I said speaking of stiff ones. No balls or no tongue.
Can you still get
because
a boner without balls?
I think so. You just
don't
can't
think so.
squirt.
Uh-oh. We need
Well,
to
people
find
who
out.
get people who
No,
get
people-
snipped can still get.
That's different. You're not getting.
That's
you
not
still have-
castrated. That's
yeah, when you get castrated, you cannot get. That's why in
Game of Thrones.
not strangers candy, hard candy.
Hard candy.
She castrates him. She cuts his
Well, she
balls off
pretends
because
to
he
castrate
can't
him.
fucking get a boner anymore.
Huh.
She pretends to castrate him.
Oh, whatever.
Spoilers for whatever the fucking bullshit. they're
Spoilers for
talking
Hard
about.
Candy from 2006.
Not watching that now. I can't. It's already been spoiled. There's no way I can go back
it
now.
was Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson, and he was an internet pervert, and she invited him over, and then
She reversed
tortured,
have a
tortured
seat
him.
here.
I'm gonna now know that he gets castrated or not.
Yeah. well.
Yeah, you have to watch it and decide.
General Patton. Wait, General Patton.
You're close, buddy.
General Bethlehem, Will Patton, calls in Kevin Costner to talk to him about all the stuff he had on him, how he's a solitary man because he has binoculars to watch people from a distance.
know
and
you.
He has
I
books to
studied
read
you.
by himself. All the while, Will Patton is painting a self-portrait of himself. Wait, that's how you paint a self-portrait.
Yeah, it's the only
right?
way you could do a self-portrait, dude. There's not another way to do that.
You know what I meant. And
I heard what you said.
it's not great. I don't think it's that bad.
It's better than I can do, but we are definitely making some.
It does not look like him.
We're making some Hitler references. I think.
Definitely.
You know, the
I think so. The
wannabe
Klan,
artist.
the no quote unquote mongoloids
Well,
allowed.
once you use things like what was the thing again about the ethnic
Pure-
suitable
Suitable
ethnic
ethnic
background
something.
or
Yeah.
building block?
Yeah.
Like as soon as you use that, we already know where you're coming from.
Yep, and then kill everybody else that
Foundation.
doesn't suit
Foundation, thank you.
your needs.
But strangely enough, and I'm not complaining about it, he doesn't kill the black people that he sees or the Asians or anybody else. Like he goes town to town and he talks shit about everybody. I just
Well,
think
But
that
his-
this,
I think he does. in some cases, or his army does, because later on when they come to Pineview and that guy from Super Troopers is telling Ford Lincoln Mercury,
Yeah.
I'll never not laugh. He's telling him the sheriff from Pineview.
He's Kruger and Seinfeld.
He was the head the cop from Super Troopers, the blues.
Desperation is a stinky cologne, John.
Right. I heard you say that. I still don't know what character he is.
He was
the sheriff
that
was
no,
calling-
chief of police or whatever, not the sheriff.
Yeah.
No,
the
now
sheriff-
I'm talking about now.
Oh,
the movie we're talking
the sheriff
about.
in Pineview.
Catch
yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are anymore.
I knew what I knew what I was picking up what he was putting down.
But he tells Ford Lincoln Mercury, you can't go outside because the eights are here.
But then later he is outside and he even yells something. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We're jumping way ahead.
We'll get there.
It matters not.
It's okay. We can jump ahead.
So Costner decides it's time to escape. And he tells Woody, we're going to get the fuck out of here.
And why are you saying this in front of fucking wet for the army Giovanni Ribisi?
He's not trying.
When he's talking about
Well, he tells him to stay behind, but then he follows him anyway. I
the
think.
way he straddles that staircase.
Yeah, he is
Again.
fucking that staircase.
again, master fucking class on how to be just an awkward fucking dude.
Yeah,
Love you.
he's great at being a weirdo.
Giovanni Ribisi, if you ever want to be on our show, please call me.
If you ever want to listen to our show, let me know.
So they start showing another movie, and somehow Whitney called this right away. It's a John Wayne movie. She wore a yellow ribbon.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how you pulled that. Good for
But
you.
I only mention it partially because she
And they
pulled
showed
that
it
out
for
of
2
nowhere,
seconds.
and partially because of the cool transition. Because there's a
Yes.
guy riding away on the ridge in the movie,
Uh-huh.
and the camera moves toward the movie screen, and then it fades into a guy riding on the ridge in this movie.
That was
I liked
such
it.
a phenomenal fucking transition.
Yeah.
Like, that was absolutely beautiful.
There are some just beautiful shots in this movie too, because you're using a big sprawling landscape
Yeah.
almost anywhere you go. I mean, even this part of Tucson's a big wide open quarry, and they make it look pretty fucking epic.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm wondering if it was done up at Ina, because that's where the giant quarry is.
I know
over there.
there's a couple outside
And there's
of town. but-
always water down at the bottom. You know when it starts to smell bad? That's where the quarry.
you show me a time it doesn't smell bad over there.
No, over.
yeah,
over
welcome
by
to Tucson.
Ina,
It smells like a sewer.
it does, and that's where the quarry is over there.
Hashtag you get used to it.
Well, it doesn't smell like that in town. Usually,
That you know of.
Dude,
not in this part of town.
That you know of.
when my dad would drive us back from Phoenix to Tucson, when my older sister and I would go visit my dad, every single time he drove by there, it was always, Whitney, did you fart? Not my sister, but always me.
Well,
And it
yeah.
was just like,
She's a
You've
lady.
got a rap sheet.
pick the older kid.
It's easier to make fun of the young ones.
The older ones have more control.
That's why whenever I see a group of young children, I always yell at the small ones.
You know,
You
you
do.
gotta weed them out, dude.
Got to weed out the weak. Mercy is for the weak.
Sweep the young.
Sweep the young. So they send Kevin Costner now to hunt a lion with a knife.
Because apparently there used to be a zoo here.
I mean, Idaho was giving him a shotgun, but a one shot, like a little a breech joint, 12 gauge, one shell, no backup, no nothing.
Nothing.
Even that is tough to get a lion with. And you're like, here's this K-bar knife. Have fun.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
even
you could easily
the
do that.
game warden in Taming the T-Rex shot more than once.
Yeah.
I feel like you let the lion try and get you, but you put your arm under his jugular and you just.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Sounds great.
Yeah, you
Do
just
that
I
with
can do
a
it.
real
strong,
lion.
You just
I will.
strong arm
Watch
a
me.
lion's neck.
I grew up with Rottweilers as I was
Step
a
one,
itty bitty.
predict a fucking lion's movements.
Yeah.
Step 2, Rottweilers aren't lions.
Step 3 is die.
Lay down. Like, as soon as he charges you, lay down as he flies over you, and you just.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because all of us here are Matrix level athletes.
I am.
So my plan is I already am
Have
gonna.
you seen me?
I already plan on dying, so I'm gonna go full Crocodile Dundee and try and hypnotize him. I'm just gonna sit there, and then I die. You know, that line's like,
Are you
what the
gonna get a
fuck is this?
bullwhip?
The fuck is this asshole trying to do? You're not Crocodile Dundee, and I'm not a crocodile.
So Kevin Costner recovers this dead body They didn't tell him to bring it back, I don't think. Not at first.
I think that was his point, was to go, because they know the lion killed one person and they sent another person over there they don't know.
But he wasn't dead. He was dying.
Oh, I think he was dead because
I'm pretty sure
he was
dead.
moving. His eyeball was falling out of his face that you
Okay.
saw.
'Cause
But
I
he was still like moving and
I saw the things connected to his ocular cavity.
But he uses this opportunity to fall through this bridge from the Phantom into this river and try to get away.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he does.
And they're trying to chase him, but fortunately for him, this entire army was trained by the Imperial Army from Star Wars, and they can't hit a goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's tough,
Yo, that
man.
tide is going. That fucking what is not tide? The current is going pretty fast.
It is going fast, and I still think that because we are post-apocalyptic, you don't have the extra ammunition to go drill and target practice. You
Right.
are, let's save this for killing peasants when we need to.
Yeah, I guess they're usually doing like firing squad type.
Yeah,
murder.
exactly. And you're using it for intimidation.
Yeah.
Also,
They're
nobody
not-
wants to go in the water because
when's the last battle they had?
Yeah,
Everybody
they
bowed
walk
down to
into
them.
town and people just give them shit. So
But we need a volunteer to go after them.
yeah, so Woody, Idaho, and Giovanni Ribisi all follow.
Giovanni Ribisi runs up and grabs Will Patton's legs like, I'll get him for you.
I'll suck your dick.
He would, dude. Present it.
And Costner kind of gets away from Woody and Idaho, who jump into this river also, which I would not do. Like, Costner
The
was
way
lucky to
they
be
did it-
alive. Yeah, they went over the side, too. They took those extra 3
Go
feet.
to the center.
Take 2 steps to your right. Boom. You are down the
Yeah.
hole now.
Yeah, I would just go straight down, not try
Yeah.
and climb over this thing and go over.
You risk your leg getting caught up
Yeah.
and just walk through.
Like the Phantom.
Yeah. Like the
And then you get a
Phantom.
purple motorcycle helmet. But he gets away from them, and he starts trying to sneak away, and Giovanni Ribisi finds him and sells him out. And so Kevin
got
Costner stabs the fuck out of him.
Didn't want to. He even asked
Why
him,
did
like,
you
don't
do it?
And yeah, his dying words were like, why'd you ruin it for me?
And then he does get caught up to by Woody, who then first looks like he's going to attack Costner. Idaho comes up from behind. They're giving him a velociraptor.
Yep.
But Woody says a line from earlier from the Shakespeare thing. He says, "No harness on my back." And he throws the knife past Kevin Costner into Idaho, but into his arm, which will not kill a man.
Nope.
Immediately.
I mean,
if you hit the right vein,
yeah, what is that,
artery,
brachial?
sounds right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a brachial artery.
I've watched
in there.
enough Scrubs. I'm a doctor. And bang, he's dead. Fucking Idaho lights up Woody. So that's sad. Now everybody we know except Kevin Costner is dead.
Yeah, all the early names on IMDb are out of here besides Kevin Costner and Will Patton.
And he gets on going.
Yeah, and then
Idaho's chasing him down though, dude, and you think he's got him cornered. Well, he thinks he's got him cornered. Whitney
Oh,
knew
yeah.
right away what was happening. She's like, God, I hope it's a fucking lion. And sure as shit, man, that lion. He didn't know Whitney's patented move of the duck and swipe. Everyone knows when a lion charges, you duck and swipe.
You
Yeah.
lay and swipe, not
Sorry,
die.
I'm so sorry. I'm dead again. Lay and swipe.
well, they're like a shark. You just punch them in the nose, right?
Yeah, you let me know how that works out. Dude.
Punch. Oh my God, my arm is gone.
It would be like a cartoon. That lion just looks at you like, what the fuck did you just do? You are so goddamn dead.
Yeah, and that lion kills the fuck out of Idaho too.
He has a nice dinner.
And
This is for Bill, damn it.
One of the rewards, by the way, is like if you come back with that lion dead, you get a nice lion steak tonight. I don't know if that's good or bad.
well, in this case, I don't think it matters.
It's true.
You got
I
just meat because they were told they get meat and they got gruel.
Oh yeah,
with like chunks of
So
meat
now
in
we're
it.
talking about like whatever the ribeye equivalent of a cat is.
Also,
Yeah.
I want to know how they made that gruel. It was like it was a cream-based thing.
They probably just boiled down everything so fucking much.
But why
threw
is
in
it white?
Flour, spread it.
How do they get
Flour
flour?
survives.
Yeah, flour lasts. Dude.
They don't give a fuck if there's little bugs in it.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
It
you
could be
boil it enough.
nuclear.
I mean, Truck and Bleep used to like make food. Truck told me this, that they used to make food and accidentally leave it on the stove, and so they would reheat it and like boil it.
Oh
so it was,
no, that's when I was there.
Yeah.
And I would like, dude, I left that chili out last night, man. We gotta throw it out. And they're all, fuck you do, and just put it on high, let it boil, and then simmer it for like 16 hours. We'd be drunk again in no time. Like that chili's ready.
Yeah, it is.
So Kevin Costner is escaping in the rain and he finds an abandoned mail truck. So he gets in there so he can have some shelter.
And
Wait,
there's a
how did you know it was a
skeleton and
mail
he talks
truck?
to
Did
him.
you see its little balls?
Yeah. There was the first instance of truck nuts right before the world went destroyed.
You definitely see the U.S. Postal Service emblem and everything.
If they are real truck nuts, though, we know it's in Arizona.
Blue ones hanging down low.
Yeah, no, he escaped from Tucson, Arizona, and ended up in Washington.
I mean, that's the craziest thing. The topography of this place, dude, is insane.
But I love that he does start talking to the skeleton, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Before that, though, he is full caveman. Because
Yeah,
he finds a Zippo and like, I understand what he's going for. It's supposed to be him like guttural and excited, but it is him with a lighter trying to light like, oh. And
then he blows it out. And then he finds booze and becomes civilized again. He's like,
And then
hey,
he
you
becomes
shouldn't have.
Phil Hartman from SNL.
Yes.
He's a thought out caveman lawyer.
May he rest in pictures.
And he gets the hat. He finds the postman hat. And 50 minutes into this movie, Kevin Costner is now the postman.
Yep.
And he goes to the first place. He decides he's going to deliver mail, mostly as a way to get food from people.
Not mostly, all.
All.
Yeah.
He put on the jacket because it was warm. He found the mailbag and realized that whatever it said, Pineview, was close enough. I'm going to get a fucking meal. I'm going to get out of this cold because it is Oregon. It's raining.
Yeah. And so he gets to Pineview. He tells them he's on official business. And this is when we see Daniel Von Bargen, who is the guy I was talking about. That's the sheriff.
Daniel Von Bargen here. I'm selling rockets at a discount. You let me know how many you need and how far you need them to go.
Do you need donkey meat? I've got donkey meat at a bargain. A Von Bargen.
Daniel Von Bargen here. Don't go down to Crazy Alex's. He's crazy for a reason.
I'll buy it.
It's the Von Bargen warehouse.
It's gonna-
That's the guy from Super Troopers. And anybody who's listening, just do yourself a favor. Go look up Daniel Von Bargen on IMDb because his IMDb photo is fucking
Even
ridiculous.
you know who he is.
He's sexy
and
as
still
fuck.
look up that fucking
That
photo.
picture.
That's awesome.
Like, that picture made me go, hello.
I
He
wanna
looks
say
like
he
a
was
crazed
also
homeless
Malcolm-
man
Is
who
it
just
me
ate people.
you're looking for?
I want to say he was also Malcolm in the Middle, the general at the military school, but I haven't seen that in a long fucking
me neither.
time.
Oh,
I haven't
with
seen Malcolm in
Hyde's
the
twin
Middle.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one not in jail.
Yeah, the one that's not a
Yes.
rapist that we know
Yeah,
of.
that we know of. Thank you. Caveats. Addendums, if you will.
He was actually found guilty.
Oh, I know.
Oh, no. We're saying the brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
We don't
okay.
know.
Masterson.
Masterson.
Other
yeah.
Masterson. That's his name.
Other Masterson.
Other Masterson. But so he gets in and he delivers a letter to the one person. He's just reading off names and they're about to shoot him. And he finally reads off a name of someone who's still alive.
And it was after 3, by the way. He's like,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
give you the count of 3.
Funny.
He says
He's like,
3.
"Did you say
and
one
he
yet?" He's
grabs
all,
one
"One."
more. And he's like, Irene March.
Hey, it's your fucking Hail Mary.
Yeah.
He's going to die if he goes out there. He doesn't
Yeah.
have supplies. He doesn't have Bill. He has no weapon. He's got letters.
And you can't eat letters.
Irene?
Well, I mean, you can.
Irene.
Irene.
So they're like-
Irene.
And so, and he goes to her and he says, I'm the postman. So now we're 54 minutes in
They
and he
said
said the
what
name.
he is.
And there's only 2 hours and 3 minutes left.
Oh, boy.
There's only one whole Star Wars plus 4 minutes left.
Is that
All we got to do is watch
credits?
a whole Star Wars movie.
Is it 4 minutes and 159 or is it 201? Doesn't matter. Not important. We're not talking about Star Wars. Don't worry.
I know.
We're trying not to.
I said, just do it.
It's a trap. All right. So he gives this lady the letter. It's from her sister from 15 years ago. It moves her. It moves the whole town. So they give him food. They let him take a bath.
Yeah.
And apparently a bath is all it takes for Will Patton not to recognize him for the rest of this movie.
Well, no, he shaved his
a
face.
shave as well.
Okay.
But the
If
hair
you
is
shaved-
the same.
If you shaved Jack's face, would you know who he was?
Yes, because he didn't have a beard for some times when we worked
I know
together.
that's my
Once.
contact ID.
I shaved it for a wedding once.
No, your contact ID on my phone. You have a clean shave, and your hair.
You
You've
look
got
like you're
the
about to start
comb-over.
singing
Yeah,
for a
that's
rockabilly
after I
band.
shaved off the thing. I had
This
the Van
was
Dyke.
Easter of 2000.
Yeah, because I went to
15,
Gabe and Jordan's
16.
wedding.
Oh,
and they
so
wanted-
again, it was for a wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only time he's saying.
that's
It
the
was a
only
wedding.
time.
You only shave it for
All
a
I
wedding?
know is he looks like he's about to start singing for a rockabilly band. He's
I
about
loved
to
it.
hang out with Jimmy and the Mustangs.
Justine.
But he takes a bath and Ford comes in. We meet Ford.
Sharks of the corn? Virus shark? Cocaine shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, Those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
As you folks know, we like to have a beer or three while we podcast, and sometimes that leads to a not so pleasant morning after, unless we remember to hydrate, people. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it's now available in sugar-free with a proprietary zero sugar solution that has no artificial sweeteners. I love using Liquid IV because it comes in convenient little packets you can take with you, makes me feel rejuvenated and hydrated, and best of all, it actually tastes good. Just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just water alone, thanks to the 8 vitamins and nutrients it has, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of those other sports drinks. We love Liquid IV so much that we're offering you, our loyal listeners, a steal of a deal. Get 20% off when you grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free, or any other variant at liquidiv.com and use the code WORSTPEOPLE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code WORSTPEOPLE at liquidiv.com.
Enter Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Yes, Ford Lincoln Mercury. Also Johnny? Is that what
Yeah.
you were saying?
Yeah, he even says his name was Johnny, but he goes by Ford Lincoln Mercury because he wanted to drive
Reminiscent
cars.
of Next Goal Wins, where the trans person's like, call me Johnny one more fucking time.
Oh gosh, that was
Yeah,
such a
because
good movie.
the sheriff keeps
that's
calling
awesome.
him Johnny, and he's not having it. So yeah, it is reminiscent.
And then
of
he
that.
gets more in tune with the postman because he's like, okay, Ford, listen to me, and he's
Yeah.
like, you're my boy.
You're my
You're my boy,
The
I will
thing-
die for
he
you.
just wants a sense of I know he's like, oh, I think it's probably once he gets sworn in.
Yeah.
He's like, I would die to deliver letters. Like, what? What? No, calm down. Don't do that.
Your life is more important than these
Yeah,
letters.
no, don't. You're coming in real hot there, Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Most of these people are dead. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
I mean, isn't it hard to tell this kid that's admiring him, like, I just did this for a fucking bowl of soup.
Yeah.
So
But-
I love what that kid does, and
Well,
we'll get there.
So they go. So yeah, we meet Ford Lincoln Mercury, who's actually going to be a character,
Yay! He lives longer than 5 minutes or 50.
and then they go into like the town hall, whatever, where they're all eating food here, and everybody's asking Kevin Costner all these questions about the government
the
and what's going
president?
on. And who's the president? It's Richard Starkey, which I only learned this because of IMDb, because as you all know, if you've listened to this, we don't like the Beatles. Richard Starkey is Ringo Starr's real name.
I couldn't have told
RS,
you
he
that.
went real far with that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
But
Which
it makes
is
sense. He brings it back because he's got there's a saying now.
exactly. The president has a saying, stuff's getting better all the time,
Oh.
which is a Beatles song.
Which I never knew before watching it with you guys. I've seen this movie, I don't know, maybe 4 times in my life, and now I know that about it.
Yeah.
Does
And
Kevin Costner like the Beatles?
Probably.
of course he does.
Look at
Why?
look at the time of life he is.
Why
and his-
doesn't he like the Stones instead?
You can like 2 things. I know that's like the classic argument, but it doesn't have to be one.
Yeah,
or the
you
other.
you can definitely like 2 things. You watch Star Trek movies?
Yeah.
Do you watch Star Wars movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
I will say there are some Beatles songs that I didn't realize were Beatles songs, and then I found out it's because it was John Lennon and not Paul McCartney. Like apparently Paul McCartney was all like the A side of the album,
I'm just
And- trying to
get more songs on the album.
and Lennon was the B side, and only A
Well-
side got on the radio.
And George Harrison wrote some too. I only know that because I know the only song I know for a fact from the Beatles that I do like, and I'm sure there might be others, I just don't know where them, is the When My Guitar Gently Weeps,
Okay.
which is George Harrison.
Who did the Yellow Submarine? Because fuck you.
John Lennon, probably. That's the acid phase, man.
We all
we just
live
lost, like,
in a
3
yellow
listeners.
submarine.
We just lost 3 listeners. Shit, that's like 48% of our listeners.
We're negative listeners.
I'm sorry.
now, guys.
Okay, sorry. Delete all of that.
So we also meet Abby, played by Olivia Williams, who was in Rushmore.
And that's about it that I know.
Yeah, she's the one that Bill Murray and
Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman, thank you. I kept thinking Jason Statham, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah,
Different movie.
That's my last name. If you didn't notice.
Different movie if it was Jason Statham and Bill Murray fighting over a
Yeah,
woman.
this fight's not gonna last long.
All right then.
And they have a little dance, and
They
she's
do a
like
little love.
flirting with
Get
him.
down tonight.
Well, yeah, get down tonight, because her question to him is, first she says, "Are you smart?" And he says,
Huh?
Maybe, I don't know. She's like, "Do you have good semen?" And he's like, "Excuse the fuck out of me."
What did you
Dude,
just
if I had a nickel for every time I've been asked that in a date, I would have no money. No, this is just. How do you know the condition of your semen?
Do you have children?
No.
Okay, you don't have good swimmers.
Or
he's
I've
just
used
skillful.
protection.
Do you?
Yeah, spray and pray. God has answered
Pull
all
out
my
and pray
prayers.
out.
Turns out he's still accepting my calls.
Or
But she asks because she wants him to get her pregnant because her husband had the bad mumps, whatever the fuck that is,
the bad mumps.
as opposed to the good mumps.
Oh
I
yeah, you
guess.
remember the good mumps?
Ah, the good mumps.
Just like good old mumps. Fans of The Office will recognize this actor as Josh from Stamford in season 3 or so.
I never got that
He's
far.
in a couple episodes, but you'll never forget him. He's a rapscallion.
And basically, Kevin Costner's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna knock you up. That's weird." But she says she's got a good point. She's like, people keep trying to do it around here with
Yeah.
other people from the town, and it always gets weird.
Yeah, because it's fine for a while until they start showing. And she's got, like you said, logic. You're gonna be here very fucking rarely. There's a good chance you die in the road.
And this is written in that way of like the classic people want to have children thing.
Uh-huh.
Because that's the idea is like, oh sure, I'll knock you up, but then once the baby starts developing, the people are like, no, that's my baby, that's my blood, that's my family, my whatever.
yeah, and they don't want that.
Whereas
in the
I'd be
sound.
like, I'll do it. I'll knock up the whole town.
I would only have a problem if that baby came out redhead because they'd look at me like, "You're my dad, though, right?"
But I
mean,
think
look
that's
at
the
you.
other.
It's recessive. It could be anywhere.
I think I'm pretty sure that's the other enticing thing because he's not there. Not
Because
only
he's not a
like-
redhead.
Exactly.
Pretty enticing.
No, because he's not there. So one, you will look like the parent.
Yeah.
Whether they're around or not. Like she looks more like her dad every day and
Mm-hmm.
she spends more time with me. But you always see the other parent and it's more enticing to know that that person's just never going to be around again.
Yeah.
Like
She
and
loves that about him.
they're trying to procreate the town. As long as she's not having a baby, that baby can fuck whatever.
That's fair. Yeah, because that won't be related to anybody
It
there.
won't be, incest.
Yeah. You need that.
Exactly.
You need to unshallow. You need to deepen your gene pool.
Yes.
100%.
Unshallow.
You need to unshallow. Well, there's parts of the swim gym that are shallow and some that are unshallow.
I was diving into the. I like diving into the unshallow part of the swim gym.
Call back to him just jumping on that diving board.
That was the shallow end.
That's the
yes.
shallowest swim gym I've ever seen.
Can I tell you that my boss absolutely loves that you call it a swim gym?
I know.
Oh, he commented
he told
on
me.
one of our TikTok videos about how you need to go to the swim gym.
Need a little excitement? Snap into a swim gym. I guess if you dive into a swim gym. Oh, yeah.
Splash me. So Ford now is asking him how he can become a postman because he wants to help, and Kevin Costner's
He
kind
wants
of
to belong
trying.
to something, man.
Yeah, and Costner's trying to avoid the subject because he knows that he's a fraud. And so he's like, "Well, only another postman can make you a postman."
You're a postman.
And Ford though is like, "You mean like a vampire?"
I mean, they do
That
have to
was
be invited
fun.
into each town. You can't just walk into a town. You have to be invited.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is true.
Oh, man. Kevin Costner as a vampire, I don't think would be good. I just did the math in my head.
Do you know who is a good one?
Eddie Murphy,
Gary Oldman.
Jermaine
Yeah.
Clement.
Jermaine Clement,
Oh, that was a good one.
Antonio Banderas. Go on.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have a sip.
You said go on.
I'd have a sip.
All right, continue.
Where were we? I was thinking about vampires. Sorry.
It's like a Selma Hayek.
I know my husband.
Ultimate derailment.
Blade.
He's a good vampire. Well, he's a terrible vampire. He kills vampires, but he's a good vampire.
He's actually a really, really bad vampire. He
But
goes
he's a
where he's
good
not wanted,
vampire.
and he doesn't eat humans and drink blood. Kills vampires.
He does hang out at blood raves, but it's mostly
Not-
for murder
it's-
purposes.
It's for reference.
But so he swears Ford in using the postman oath.
Creed that's written on the wall right next to them.
Checking it out a
Yeah.
little bit as he goes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love he tells him, he's like, repeat after me, and so he's reading off the creed, and at the end he's like, okay then.
Okay then.
Yep, Ford, okay then.
No. I'm saying just listen. We're done.
But then they're leaving the post office there, and the sheriff confronts Costner, and he's basically like, look, I know you're full of shit and you're lying to everybody, and you don't need to give these people hope because then they're just going to be devastated, so you should probably get the fuck out
Right
of
now,
town.
all you've cost us is a couple bowls of soup and a broken heart or two.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
I know you found this and stole these letters, and that's why you're.
Oh, he's onto
here for
him,
that.
man.
Yeah,
He's just some
he
fucking drifter.
called it.
Yeah. And so he tells him he can stay for the night, so he goes back to his little room, and then Abby shows up to
And says,
fuck his brains out.
Nipples.
Yep, she shows up and shows her
Well,
booty and nips.
we get a beautiful butt.
Juicy a little behind.
Oh, this is
Like I
that little
said, good
jiggle,
enough to make fucking Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman fight each other.
Yeah.
a little juicy jiggle
We
as she
get some
pulls.
good side nip.
Sorry, I'm the girl in the room, and I'm got a big boner for this bitch.
And then she takes him to Doinktown twice.
And then leaves him while he's sleeping.
Two
Yeah.
that we know of.
Girl of
Yeah.
my heart.
Two on
because-
camera.
The postman always comes twice.
And that's why this movie's 3 hours long, because Kevin Costner does have stamina, and they show the entire scene. No, I'm just kidding.
See, an hour of plot, 2 hours of Kevin Costner fucking.
So
I'd
Kevin
watch that.
Costner leaves,
Yeah, I
and
would.
immediately Will Patton arrives. At least that's the way it's presented to us. The way, like I said, time flows differently.
Pacing is
in this
strange
world,
in this
so.
movie.
Oh, it's so strange.
And he sees the American flag flying over the post office.
Why the fuck are you flying
Yeah,
that?
who the fuck is responsible for that? And he
Not
makes
a true patriot, guys.
I bet. Do you
True
think if it
patriots
had a
love the
rebel,
flag.
Is
do
this
you think if it was
after-
a rebel flag, he'd be okay with that?
No.
Yeah, no,
I
he'd
think
be okay with stars
I
and
think
bars.
he's anti-establishment.
Well, he unless it's a flag with his face on it.
Turns out,
or
at one
home.
point, we find out he's a copy salesman.
Yeah, that's at the very, very end.
Like, but no.
Is
I
this
think
before or after his Trump speech, though?
this is coming up to his Trump speech, right?
When he has
Where
the whole speech about literally make America great again.
Yeah, and how it's the weak propaganda, fake news that fucked it all
oh, when
up.
he's telling Michael he's gonna take his wife.
That's right. Yeah,
That's
'cause
what it is.
He makes Michael, who is Abby's husband, pull the flag down and burn it, and then throw the torch into the post office, which is where Ford and the sheriff are,
Yeah.
or at least Ford. I think the sheriff.
No,
might
the
have left.
sheriff is the one that's like, "Don't go outside; they'll
Well,
fucking
yeah,
kill you."
but 'cause the only one we see come out coughing and stuff is Ford. He goes out the back.
But he saved some letters.
Yeah, he does save a few letters, but Patton does make sure to say the United States does not exist, and that flag is an abomination.
Fuck
And this
you.
in 1997, this is really going to rile some feathers. I mean, right now
yeah.
it would too, but
You're steaming clams, you're getting goats, you're grinding gears with this one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Costner missed out on. If they played this now, like
Oh, you'd roast some corn.
it might do much better.
and like you said, Patton does want to take Abby. He says like that's a fine piece of woman or a fine piece of ass. I think is what he
Great
said.
Pretty
piece
much.
of ass, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Grade A piece of A.
Her husband stands up to him and he's like, "No, that's my wife." And he's
And
like,
no, you
"No, in the
can't."
feudal system, men take what they can get, or whatever. Like the strongest take it." And yeah, that's exactly. He's like, "No." What does he say? Patton
First
tells
he
him
says,
this,
"I
like,
can't."
what? Yeah, he's like, "You can't do that," or "I can't tell her to come over here." And
Uh,
Patton's like,
and
"You
can't
can't."
sleep with her.
Yeah, because Patton says, "You can't," and he goes, "You can't." And yeah, so he gets
Knife
fucking
in the
murdered.
stomach.
Not, I mean, now's the rant though. It's like I can't ruin this country.
Yeah.
I can, and I'm gonna make America great again.
Although he couldn't do this movie now with this exact speech because he'd say, "Yes, I can," and people would be like, "See Obama, he ruined America."
I was gonna say, do you think Trump watched this and was like,
No, he's not in this movie.
"You're not wrong."
He would. It's a great movie. One problem, I'm not in it.
He just likes to watch it on this one TV he has where like all the pixels are dead on one part, and he sits right there, so his reflection is in it,
I
and
can
he'll
see
just
that.
say lines
My
back
spot.
of. He says lines of whoever's in that spot.
There you go.
Might be entertaining.
But yeah, he gets stabbed. So the sheriff does tell him a man came through here saying that the government had been reinstated. The United States government, says Ford.
Yeah.
You know,
Who said that?
exactly.
Horses budging.
Oh, those horses barrel through some people.
And
It's
then
kinda
he just
cool.
stands there like,
It's kind of a cool fucking scene. And
It
because
is.
of your beautiful surround sound, they're just the clippy clops of these horses through your entire room.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Thank you. I helped set it up.
You did well.
He did well too.
You did okay.
Yeah, I did all right. And so Ford says he's going to take some mail, but he's going to go the opposite direction of where they're going.
Yeah, he's like, because Costner said he was going west.
Well, I guess
he's
they
going all-
send people all
I was gonna
directions,
say
but
that.
Patton himself goes west, the
Uh-huh.
direction that Costner went. So
but he says he went east. No,
was it east?
never mind.
West?
He goes,
Whichever way he went.
yeah, the opposite
One of the
side.
directions
Sorry.
of the compass.
Canning Day, I drank a lot.
And then we go to the next town, which is called Benning, and we get the mayor of Benning, who is George Weiner, which most people will know from Spaceballs.
This town, they're assholes. The entire town are assholes.
Only one man would dare to give me the raspberry. That's Rick Moranis. But
I'm
you
sorry
know.
to interrupt. Do we have any more of Liquid IV?
Yeah,
I need some.
Finally, it is Liquid IV
I need it in my face.
for some hydration.
We always have delicious liquid IV.
I know. Do you have my
And
favorite
sugar-free.
flavor? Do you have my favorite flavor? Mine is lemon lime.
Probably
What's your favorite flavor?
peach,
Coors Light.
sugar free. I
We
put
do-
my liquid IV in my Coors Light.
And then I shake it, not stirred.
Oh, I definitely shake mine. All right, I'm gonna go get some.
Okay. And while he's there, he's handing out letters. Everybody's celebrating that he's there, and he's telling them about the government and whatever. And the Holness soldiers, the 8, arrive in Benning, and these gatekeepers pull a Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I told
Oh my
them we
God.
already had one.
Is this the army scene thingy?
Yeah.
Because that old man wants to sign up.
That's after this. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
when the
This is-
soldiers first show up.
He's delivering mail to the guy that calls everybody assholes. And yeah, Patton's guy comes back with this city has demands like you aren't recognized by the government. This army's illegal. You must leave. And also,
Oh, that's right.
What else did they say?
Oh, yeah.
And then these guys pop up like, kiss our ass and go to hell.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my god, I
and then
love
they
that.
and then they launch a cow from a
Now
catapult.
go away before I
they
taunt
don't
you
do
a
that.
second time.
No, that scene, I was like, yeah, grow some balls, boys. Don't let
No,
this
but you
little
shouldn't.
man.
No, you
fuck
you
you.
shouldn't. I mean, it is what it kind of incites the entire revolution that this movie's
Absolutely,
about.
but all you do in this scenario, if it ever comes up, if it ever comes up, one of the gate guys goes and runs and tells Kevin Costner, "Boogie, get out of here," and then the other one opens the door. That's
Right.
it. We're done.
But I am definitely that person that would be like, yeah, come in. And then, yes, come here. I'll help you. I'll make you feel better. And as
Yeah,
you're
we'll
sleeping, I
Murder
will
Town.
slit your fucking
Oh, you can
throat.
go
Bring
full
their
Red
giant
Wedding.
wooden rabbit in, and then burn it.
I'll burn it as it's going through the gates.
But they do kind of like they basically set up to attack the town, and George Weiner sends Kevin Costner out to negotiate. And this is where we find out that Will Patton doesn't recognize him because he doesn't have a beard. So I guess when
So
we
we
were
don't
talking
know how
shit,
much time has passed.
And he asked
when we were
him,
talking shit in Remo
"How do I know
Williams
you?"
about losing his mustache,
huh.
Okay,
I guess that's enough to not recognize somebody.
Yeah.
can I just say Superman?
No. Okay. I get what you're saying. But also, this is like there's already a foundation for Nemesis. Like you would remember Shakespeare.
I saw a Jimmy Kimmel skit, which isn't usually funny, where he was it's Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck having a conversation from one of their movies.
Oh God!
And
Wait,
Jimmy Kimmel's walking by.
it's
and he's
not
like,
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah, it is Kimmel.
He's walking by and he's looking at them, and he's like looking weird at them, and he walks back again.
They're
And
in
he
like
looks
an
weird
art
at them.
gallery.
Yeah, and it's a conversation from one of the movies. Then he comes up and he's like, "Don't I know you?" And Henry Cavill's like, "No, you don't know who I am." He's like, "Yeah, you're Superman." And like Ben Affleck's sitting there and he holds up the program or whatever from the thing, and he's like trying to cover his face.
No, he's only covering
and
up to
yeah,
his
and
nose.
his mouth is coming out from under. He's like, "Wait, put that back up. You're Batman, guys. This is Superman and Batman over here." It's fucking hilarious.
I will say on playing devil's advocate, flipping sides, Zoe Deschanel, bangs, no bangs.
Yeah. It's
Different
still,
person.
It's still though. This is somebody you already had beef with and had direct contact with, and you know there's.
That's why I'm like, how much time has fucking passed?
Yeah,
There's no way to tell. It feels like a while, but it's also not.
yeah, because between them having sex and the end of the movie, it's less than 9 months.
It's a year.
Well,
because
exactly
the
9
baby,
months because
no,
she has the baby.
the baby is a few months old on that.
Yeah.
picture.
So yeah, we have a year here,
Yeah.
but it often reads like 4 or 5.
But yeah, because he
Yes,
asks
it
him, "Do I
does.
know you?" And he's like, "I don't think so."
No, you don't.
But Will Patton has a pretty fucking killer line. They're all loading up these like artillery shells they have and stuff. And he's like, "These people made it through the bugs, the riots, and the 3-year winters, but they're not going to survive you." And they fucking blow these gates down with this artillery gun.
Howitzers, man.
Yeah. And they assault the town.
What is that? That Gatling thing? That's a howitzer?
No, the howitzer is the cannon. It's the
Okay.
it's like a trailer.
And the Gatling,
Kinda
that's
thing.
from like a tank.
I didn't really
right?
see a Gatling. I saw a big.
They have
What's
like
the
a big
50 cal?
It's a Ma Dukes. That's a nickname for a fully automatic 50 cals Ma Dukes.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
Would that be something that you would see on top of
This should be vehicle
Tank.
mounted.
That
like,
would be
or
something
ship
you would see on the
mounted.
back of a Jeep. And then Rambo would shoot a bunch of people in
Yeah,
half
he
with
could
it.
And just
disassemble with this.
in your face?
Yeah, and then Rambo would shoot you in the driver's seat.
Which is a terrible, terrible overlook on their side.
Hey, you know what? Would watch again.
Let's
But
do it.
they did kidnap Abby, and she's in a tent, and she sees all this happening. So she starts looking through the tent after she gets out of her like binds or whatever, and finds a gun and shoots this
she's-
dude
I
who's
got-
about
I
to
just-
shoot
No, she
Kevin
doesn't find the
Costner.
gun. She hits a guy, the guy that's watching her
Oh, that's
tent.
right. She breaks
She
the
hits
bed.
a shadow that she sees on the tent, and it's his face. It's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And then she is a better marksman than anybody in the 8's crew.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
I
no.
don't know about that.
She fucking hits that dude head on
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
across
but
the
then
camp.
because of plot armor, General Bethlehem, she empties half a clip and
She
just,
barely hits him. She
She
grazes
gets
his
his
arm.
She gets his arm
and
a
he's
couple times.
but he's walking through like just not
He's
getting
hiding
hit.
through shit. He ducks behind a barrel
At
right
the-
as the bullet comes.
At the last
So,
second before
yeah,
that,
plot
though, he is
armor.
gallivanting through this field.
Dude,
Yeah, because you can't fairy toes.
all I
You
could
can't
think
hit
of
me.
was a movie I watched earlier. I told you about earlier, Jack, where people are just shooting their revolvers like 48
Yeah.
times. It's called Hitman's Hero or New Age Sensitive Killer, depending on what version you watch. And
You watch a lot of things that have multiple titles.
yeah,
how you know
well,
they're good.
these movies tend to have multiple titles. You know, you release it one way, it doesn't make any money, so you release it another way, that kind of
It
thing.
makes no money.
But there's a shootout in the hallway, and these guys are just unloading at each other, and no one's hitting anybody. And like the main guy is just running down the middle of the hallway, and no one can hit him. And they're just unloading dozens of rounds. And I'm like, come the fuck on,
Because
somebody
he's
shoot
fast
somebody.
like lightning. He's a lightning
Fast like a
potato.
shadow.
Anyway, so Kevin Costner grabs a horse, grabs Abby, and books it out of there.
And that was actually a beautiful scene. The way he fucking trolloped up onto that horse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how else to say that. He kind of like,
Trolloped up. That's how
right?
you say it.
He's a trollop.
And then he grabs her, and she obviously there was some wires that helped her onto the onto the horse.
No,
I
Kevin
think,
Costner is a master horseman. He pulled her up.
I mean,
possibly
that's a dislocated shoulder.
It's the way it looks.
No, I look cool. It's you're not wrong. He in full stride, at least to our eye.
our eye.
Just grabs her up and throws her on the back, and
Also,
they're
can
out
I just
of here.
Can I just say, like, sitting on the ass of a horse behind a saddle, hands down the worst place to sit on a horse.
But it feels better than dying.
yeah.
I
But-
imagine.
Being split in half from the crotch up is probably better than being shot in the face.
I imagine.
If you want to live. If you don't want to live, then getting shot in the face
You're
is
done.
much better.
Get out of
Do
here,
you want
pal.
to live?
Come with me if you want to live, says
And then-
Costner, and he takes her with him.
And then, unbeknownst to us, he is shot in the gut.
Yes, and so Abby hides him in the woods, and
And it's
suddenly
snowing
it's
now.
winter.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
they're
they,
higher up in the mountains,
yeah,
so
no, winter's coming,
winter's coming.
and he was too. Not right now. Earlier,
Yeah, earlier.
because she ain't paying no fucking mind to him.
So she ends up taking him. She builds like a little stretcher and pulls him into this cabin.
She's
There's some
boss.
other stuff in there, but whatever.
Yeah. So they spend.
She does tell him, "This is Michael's baby. You were just the body
the
father."
body father.
What the fuck is a body father?
Oh, I think
Biological. They just don't
it's
know that word anymore.
Fancy wave sperm donor.
Yeah. You're just the spoojman.
It's gonna look like you and have your body, but it's not your child.
In this scene, this whole winter scene is one of the ones where I'm like, you could cut some stuff out of here.
Yeah,
Like editing.
but I'm also on her side.
Oh no, that's not the point. Yeah, you are on her side because you should be.
No,
But I think
I,
with-
I'm with. I understand. I'm just saying, like, this is just long. Like, You could have made the movie shorter here. And
This is where you
one
trim
of the
some
reviews, one of the reviews I have at the end of this does mention this, but it's like editing exists to make things shorter. Maybe
Now-
not one of the reviews I chose, but like you can use editing to show the passage of time. You don't have to show the passage
I
of
think
time.
this is a case of too many yes men, like
Yeah.
you had said earlier.
Okay.
When you hire an editor for a reason. They're seeing stuff that you don't. This is their job. They went to school for it. They studied for it. It's their craft. Is editing. It's
I
different.
highlight my husband at this point.
But I mean, like, it's different than directing. You may be a great director. Doesn't mean you know shit about editing.
Well, and then the editing is really weird because like she finds his 8 brand on his arm,
Uh-huh.
and you think it's going to be a point of contention, but then 40 seconds later she confronts him. He's like, "What, are you part of their army because you were with them?" And
Yeah,
they
he
move
shuts
on.
it down.
Like it should have been she finds it, and then we have some scenes and where she's being weird, and then but it's like done.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little weird.
It is weird, but
And then he's complaining. She's trying to get him to get up and move his legs and stuff, and he's like, "No, I can't because I don't have any food." So she kills the horse, and they eat horse soup.
God, fuck you.
I mean, this horse would be happy running around, not living in a cabin.
Yeah.
Well, it was cold outside, and they were trying to keep it warm.
Well, it's warm in that stew.
The way it is warm in the stew.
Warm in my
But
belly.
he had no problem eating it because he did not name it, apparently.
Yes, its name was not Bill.
Yeah.
But
Once you meet
the
one
way she
oven
gets him to
friend.
finally get off his ass is she falls in the river, the
And
freezing
he
river.
finally jumps after
So
her.
he jumps off his ass and goes to save her, and that's when she reveals that she's pregnant and that Will Patton is impotent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's the first thing. He's like, "How do you know it's mine? It could be Bethlehem's." He tried.
Every day.
and beat me because he couldn't get it up.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard that
Sad.
in other movies. Like
That-
the guy can't get it up, so he blames the woman, and then that's why he
They
beats
take
her.
over a country.
Yeah.
And then they get elected
You're not
president,
wrong.
and then they say things like "Make America
know.
Great Again."
It's funny because it's really true.
Because it's true.
Look, this is your fault.
Because it's our history.
It's your fault. I can't get it up.
I've got the best penis ever.
Listen, Ivanka, it's your fault. Wait,
Oh,
Ouch.
ew.
no, he can get it up for her.
I don't think so. Maybe they're just his kid's kid.
You're the best president ever.
Her stepson made them.
So in the end of the season, well, it is the end of the season. The end of the season of winter. Not the end of the season of
Into
fucking.
the
Yeah,
fifth
it's-
season of this movie.
It's now like spring, apparently.
She burns this fucking cabin to the ground, and he's like, "Oh man, it's a good thing you got all of our stuff out of there." And she's like, "Yeah, of course I did. I fucking burned
Yeah,
it." And
time
he's
to
like,
move the fuck
"Wait,
on."
what?"
Why would you burn this beautiful house down?
because to make
hide
him
their trail.
move.
Yeah, I
I
get
guess
it.
that's it. Yeah, I was thinking to hide their trails. So
No,
they
it's
couldn't be
making it
found,
more
but-
noticeable.
You're not wrong, but I think it's just to get like we can't
It is.
stay here.
She
Look, it's gone.
literally lit a fire under his ass.
Yeah, because she does say,
Get
"Do
the
you think
fuck
we're
out."
gonna stay here forever?" And he's like, "No,
Kinda.
Not your child. You're just
Yeah.
the body father.
I mean, he even said he's like, I can think of worse places to fucking stay.
Yeah, I mean, so could I. Anywhere in this world except that cabin is a worse place.
Family or not, dude, I'll die up there alone.
I will go full Kaczynski out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write a manifesto and everything.
Oh, the post office is working again.
Yeah, you can still send bombs.
So they travel on to another town.
Well, first they meet Kevin Costner's daughter.
Which-
Kevin Costner's the actor's
Actual
Her
daughter,
blood, his blood daughter, his real life daughter.
playing character
Annie
named
Costner.
Ponytail.
I hate meeting strangers on the road.
Yes,
And this is back to
she's-
him when he's like, I don't know, like,
Do I shake your hand or I blow your head off?
do you want to share what you have or take what I have?
Yep.
Exactly. And when they meet her, she introduces herself as Carrier 18.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a mail carrier, and he's like, "What do you mean you're a post office like a post officer, postman, a post person,
Letter carrier.
There you go, letter carrier." Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, under Postmaster Ford Lincoln Mercury," which is still funny,
It's never not.
It's never not funny.
even in the really dramatic scenes. It's just like Ford Lincoln Mercury.
I just want like someone to be dying, like, tell Ford Lincoln Mercury that. Who? Who do you want to tell?
Go to your local Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer.
You read a what?
And so they end up going to his little town here, and he's formed his own postal service with a bunch of mail carriers, and he's trying to
Yo, he made
expand
the
the
ship
dream.
boom.
Yeah, they
But
have
it's
30
all
routes.
Kids.
Yeah, it would have to be. It would have
And
to be
by
because
kids,
all the
I mean like teenagers.
Teenagers, 20-somethings, younger people.
Yeah.
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 And
It represents the future. They have to be the younger ones.
is it Foggy Nelson, the one that's like, hey, I recognize him. I was in Pineview when he was there.
Yeah, that was
talking to
Opie.
someone else who was
No,
in
no, it's
Pineview.
That
not
was
Foggy
Opie.
Nelson.
It was Opie.
Oh, it's Opie. Okay.
Yeah.
I know
Opie.
Foggy
Ryan
Nelson is in
Ryan
this movie.
Hurst.
He's like,
No, Foggy
when
Nelson
I was
is
in
not.
Pinehurst
Isn't he?
to the guy.
No.
I thought I saw him later. Maybe it was still Opie.
I think it's all Ryan Hurst.
Okay.
Pre-Opie, I mean, like,
To
he
the
looks...
kid who was in the faculty. He says it to that kid.
Yes.
Who was also in Pineville with him or whatever that place
Pineview.
was. Pineview with him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I was there too.
And so
Grew up right next to you.
Ford tells him, like, hey, say a few words to them so they know it's you. So he looks out at all these waiting faces and says,
I'm him.
it's me.
Oh.
Hi.
It's me. And they all lose their shit. And they're like,
I'm
holy
in
shit, it is
Delaware.
him. He said it.
He's a postman.
I am the postman. He said the name of the movie. And then we see that, like, Wholeness now, the Wholeness people, Patton and his folks are capturing mail carriers because they're looking for him.
He does
And-
get mad. He's like, these are all kids. I need a man.
Yeah.
But it's a semblance of resistance, shit's happening.
There's a funny part. They're printing out their own flyers to send out with the mail because it's they got to restart junk mail too.
Yeah.
And it says stop tyranny.
Early mail is always junk mail.
Oh, God.
It says stop tyranny, but it's spelt incorrectly, and Kevin Costner points it out. And then when Will Patton finds this kid and he goes through his bag, he finds the flyer and he's like, hey, you spelt tyranny wrong.
Bang, you're
Yeah,
dead.
which hey, don't shoot the messenger. He didn't fucking
did.
write that.
He
He's
shot
just
the
carrying
messenger.
it. You
He
fucking
shot
the
the
messenger.
He
fucking
shot a lot of
messenger.
messengers in this.
Yeah, he shot all the messengers.
And so Kevin Costner joins them because he says, well, I can't go anywhere until the president tells me it's time to leave. And Ford's like, okay, then you better stay with us. And Kevin Costner's like, well, fuck.
And now we get our what should be a year training montage.
Yeah.
Or writing montage.
This takes place sometime between 1 month and 11 years.
But she is still not showing her pregnancy.
She never shows. And but so the thing is, we have her announcing she's pregnant at the cabin, and then later having the baby. So this whole thing, 10 to 12 months.
I mean, there's some girls that don't show a lot, but you will show eventually.
Usually about 6 months. It's
You
hard
eventually
to hide
have
that
to have
shit.
that baby.
They're also malnourished, so maybe that has something to do with
Even more so showing because then
Alright.
your body is skinny and you just got this bubble growing.
it. And we do have,
Now she had plenty of horse.
excuse me?
She had
hid
plenty
it-
of horse.
She
Not
hid it in
heroin.
the snow to keep it
They
frozen.
said she had plenty of whores.
I don't know how that helps, but it never hurts.
She's going to hold the baby for a while. Just squish it over there. That was a gross noise. So we
it
just
was.
see another one of Kevin Costner's children here. Joe Costner playing Letterboy. So
man.
Kevin Costner's out running his
I
route.
didn't read his comic.
And this fucking stupid kid, he wrote this letter and he's sitting there looking at it and then
He's
he
proofreading
sees
it.
Kevin Costner coming. So he hurries up and folds it up and puts it in the envelope and runs out and misses Kevin Costner. And he's like, oh, fuck, I missed it. And I'm like, yeah,
hamburgers.
you should have been out there already.
Yeah. Should have been waiting.
I guess you don't know exactly what time they're going to show up, like the real post office.
Have
but
the fucking letter ready
yeah, it should have been in the
At
envelope.
least in an envelope.
and written.
And on the front porch. No, he's already written. He's just proofreading
No,
it.
I mean the envelope
Like an-
written.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a big, like, dramatic scene. It's supposed to make your heart swell.
Trailer
I
moment
mean,
like
it's
a
definitely
motherfucker.
Gorbachev's gun.
Yeah, he comes back around. Kevin Costner senses
It's the postman's plot line.
he senses through the force that this kid has letters, so he stops down the road and turns around, and he comes back, and it's a slow motion, dramatic, sweeping thing where he comes down and takes the letter from this kid, and then you realize he's still got to turn around and go back the other way. So
This is awkward. I know we just made a really cool maneuver, but I'm just gonna walk past. Close your eyes. Pretend I did it on the way out.
Kevin Costner goes back up the road a bit and stops, and the kid's just standing there watching
He
him,
just
and he's
rides
like-
around the house.
He just yells, "Go back inside so I can ride back by."
It'll look cooler if you're inside.
Yeah, and then we have like a post office dance question mark.
Yes, this
I
is
can't
the-
tell here because he gives the sheriff of Pineview a letter from his sister who he thought was dead, and it's very moving.
I think
This
this is-
turns the sheriff to his side.
I think it's just a bad edit, but it's him and what is the actress's name or character's name?
Abby.
Abby. I think it's him and Abby delivering letters to this place. Like she just wanted to go back and see people.
Yeah, and
It's
then we
just
go.
what I'm
and-
guessing,
but it
like-
looks like they're having like a dance. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
But then we're in the post office town and they're having a dance.
Yes, because the girl.
There's a lot of
his
cotillions
daughter-
in this world.
So maybe, oh boy, Fucking PTSD. Maybe this operation isn't far from Pineview. Maybe we're just outside. I don't know. It's just maybe it's one of the few things that are edited
It's
poorly
fucking weird.
in this otherwise flawless movie.
Sure.
And so the postal workers here are starting to rebel against the 8 or the Holdest soldiers, whatever, because they're killing them off. So there's this thing where the soldiers are riding into this town, and then they like push a cart out to
Oh,
block
because you
their
got this, I'm
escape.
assuming, Vietnam dude.
Oh yes, this much older dude who has a tattoo, and it's funny because he's like,
wants to join.
Kevin Costner's like, how fucking old are you?
He's like, can you ride? He's like, shit, I can barely walk.
But he's like, how fucking old are you? And the guy's like, I'm 68, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, Kevin Costner's older than that right now, and he's out there riding horses and shit.
Yeah, he is.
Doing Yellowstone. Well, not anymore. I think he left because ego, but like, you know, he's still doing that shit. Like. And he doesn't look like this guy. This guy looks
No.
like he's solid 80.
But
This is that Brimley Rudd.
But he's a
Paradox.
rich person, 68.
Yeah, that's fair. But
You
they
age different with
trap them
money.
in, and they fucking take these dudes out, and it's pretty awesome.
Sowing seeds. He
Oh,
tells
yeah,
Costner
Ford.
tells
he
Ford-
teaches them how to do the whole army thing.
Well, that's the thing is the old guy says, "Well, I know things."
What else do you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
And he tells Ford, though, to get rid of the bodies. This town does not need to be blamed for our... And he's correct.
because this town they're at, by the way, is now called Elvis, Oregon, and it's the town that Kevin Costner goes to a little earlier, where he climbs up 9,000
mountain of
stairs.
okay,
It's like a mile high.
think of
straight
Ace
up.
Ventura 2.
That's exactly
with
what I
a
was going to
slinky.
say. Almost made it.
We got time for one more? No. Let's do all the things that you want to do. Yeah, I could slinky this fucking staircase.
But yeah, he tells Ford to bury the bodies so that these people aren't blamed. And instead, Ford sticks them all in a flaming Jeep and launches it at Will Patton's camp.
With a note. I don't remember what the note said, but he's definitely antagonizing.
Yeah, he
It
is.
says, now I've got a gun, ho, ho, ho.
Is that what it said?
I don't understand what this is referencing. I never watched movies as a copy salesman. I mean, general. Oh, they almost found me out.
So then we find out Will Patton is taking his soldiers and moving them north because he knows that's where they are somewhere. And every town he gets to, he's going to kill 10 people and burn the town until Kevin Costner reveals himself. And of course, the town that we're at here is Pineview, and you have the sheriff and a bunch of other sad-looking people who get lined up. Of course, they're sad-looking; they're about to be shot.
Yeah.
And apparently, Opie is the sheriff's son.
Oh, yeah? Is that...
Was
That's
that the
what's
one who
going on.
delivers the news to Kevin Costner? Because Will Patton
no.
sends somebody off to tell
No,
Kevin
no.
Costner.
Opie's
this.
watching this happen.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause
yeah.
he goes, "That's my dad."
I just didn't know who he was talking about. It seemed like one of those guys.
Yeah, no. I'm assuming it's the sheriff because
actually a pretty-
the sheriff like looks at him and says, "You send that fucking mail. You keep doing it."
I mean, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the sheriff's been turned since he got that letter.
Yeah.
Right? So
It's the whole town. I mean, like all these guys, they don't want to die, obviously, but they're like, hey, this is what happens. It's a little price of freedom here.
and Costner wants to go down and like give himself up so
I
these
wanna
people
go
don't
down.
die, but Ford and his daughter and everybody else hold him down. They're like, "No, you can't because you're important."
Yeah. Even his daughter is like, you're hurting him. She's very concerned for
we
Papa.
get this line that I think is supposed to be moving, but is really just like a laugh out loud line.
Go on.
Right before the sheriff is getting killed, because Will Patton is again with fucking Star Wars Jedi shit. He's like, "I know they're here. I know they're
I can
watching.
sense him.
I can sense him watching us." And the sheriff yells out, "Ride, postman, ride!" And I'm like, I think that's supposed to be moving, but it's just funny.
Ride, postman, ride upon your mistress. Yeah, there's some things that land in this movie. Like we're saying with the execution, there's the lady is giving a gut-wrenching cry out for her husband. And he just is like, you hold her, damn you. Like,
Yeah.
it was good, but then you immediately reverse it with ride, postman.
And they all get killed. So then when we go back to the postal town here, and Kevin Costner reads a fake letter from the president disbanding the postal service, telling everyone to burn their suits.
It's a good letter though. Like you gave them, you gave them hope, like infinite amount of hope, instead of dread. You know, like he words it very well and just compliments
really
all
did.
these little kids.
He's a wordsmith.
But Ford
He
calls him
is.
out right away because Ford was reading fake letters from him earlier. So he's like, man, the president write that shit.
I know what those sound like. That's a fake letter, right? Did you read the book Fake Letters for Dummies?
I wrote that book.
And he asks Ford, how much mail can a dead postman deliver? And I'm thinking, like, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck?
If the train headed east is going 45 miles an hour.
And the hearse heading west is going 50, how much mail can a dead postman
If
deliver?
the rate of decomposition is greater to
I'm having flashbacks.
of what?
School.
I thought
Well,
you
we
wanted
just- we
more
just
Earlier
learned-
today, when Zoe was asking me questions to help her with her homework, and
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
oh,
So
fuck
we just
me.
learned from her that apparently math is a racket. So,
Yeah. Sounds like her.
but then Kevin Costner reveals to Abby that he's a fraud because he's trying to just be like, look, none of this means anything.
These
and
kids
people are
have to
dying.
go home.
Because he doesn't understand.
He
yet.
doesn't want more blood on his hands, man.
Well, he doesn't understand. Like, he feels responsible for it. He feels like the blood is on his hand, but he doesn't understand yet that this is giving these people something to believe in and a reason
Yeah.
to fight back against.
And while it's
Tyranny.
happening, so he tells her this. She says, yeah, I kind of figured that out. One of these recruits ended up being a mole, and he's like got a gun on him. He also wrote a letter to Bethlehem that Ford ended up taking.
Yeah.
And I only bring that up because this guy's got a gun on Kevin Costner. And he's like, yeah, this general's the fucking man. He's like, he's not a man. You want to see a man? And he points at him, who's obviously going to die.
Well, and right before that, Kevin Costner's got a really funny line because the kid says the general's a great man, and he says the general's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. And he really is, though.
Yeah, Will Patton, he's not like mustache twirling so much, but he is eating what's left of the scenery in most of his scenes.
He is.
He's really having it as a bad guy in a good way.
And we don't see a lot of bad man Will Patton.
We'll get to it now. I don't love him as the bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's not doing enough for me. Eating scenery, but misunderstanding
not
what
a treat?
character. He's not, and I don't know who I want for this part, but
Treat Williams?
he should be, in my mind, he should be a right-hand man to the number one guy.
And that's a Will Patton move. Yes. I think
Yes.
he was just trying to be.
He doesn't ruin this movie by any means. It's not like it's the worst casting ever. It's just one of my least favorite Will Pattons.
Yeah. I can
think
see
it
that.
misses my mark, not his.
So would you rather have Treat Williams?
See how I start like talking shit, but I make it about like, well, no, it's my perception of him. It's not his fault he's a great actor.
You're a recovering Catholic. I get
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Would you rather Treat Williams be this character
No,
from The Phantom?
Treat Williams be too nice. I'm like, fuck, I'm on his side. Except for the whole racism thing, man. Look at him.
He could have been Kevin Costner in this movie. It would have only cost $20 million.
Dude, I would watch
You're
it with
not
him
wrong.
as
It still would have only made $17 million.
him as the postman. The movie's over because as soon as anybody looks at him, like, all right, I get it. Give him your letters and your guns, guys.
Also, he can impregnate all our wives.
Yeah. Hey,
My
honey, I'm
feet
going to
is
sleep with
cold.
him, but my sperm works. I know, but look at him. Okay. Okay, honey.
So Ford takes the letter and delivers it to Patton, and he's going to get taken out to get shot. And he meets this other mail carrier, this guy named Clark, who's from the Restored Republic of California. So the-
California.
California. So we see that this movement is spreading, which is where Will Patton realizes, because he was
we don't
saying,
see
like,
it
this
as well
is over.
all by ourselves. Will Patton sees it too.
Yeah, because he's saying, okay, cool, I won, it's over. And then he realizes, here, this will never be over. 'cause-
Oh, you two don't know each other?
Yeah, exactly. So he fucking blows Clark
Oh,
away.
by the way, he's dressed like a fucking sexy gothic judge.
Yes, he
Like, it
is.
looks like
We're
he
like,
took-
yes, Your Honor.
Imagine taking judge robes, tucking him into leather pants, and tailoring that to fit. Awesome.
So he says, we're going to hunt on every postal carrier, we're going to kill them all, and we're going to find Kevin Costner, and we're going to castrate him. That's not exactly what he says.
but
that's what
it's-
he's thinking.
It's implied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Implied castration.
Are we gonna split hairs, dude? They're threatening
You
castration.
gonna split pubic hairs here? So Kevin Costner and Abby are on the road, and they end up at Bridge City, and we get probably the coolest cameo of this entire movie. The leader or the mayor of Bridge City
Oh.
is Mr. Tom Petty.
Yes, it is.
Rest in pictures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rest in this one.
Rest
at
in
least.
music.
I don't know what else he acted in,
It
but
doesn't matter. He's in one, so he
All
can rest
of
in
his
pictures.
music
it works
videos.
for this, I think.
Yeah, he's great because this is like it's
like,
almost
"Good man."
this town doesn't allow guns, so it's kind of like the little commune here. It's on this like dam, and like he's
A
just
single bridge dam to where you can't get over here unless you cross right here. This is Little John.
It's his choice to let you through.
yeah, he's the Black Knight.
Or Little John.
Yeah, I know. She already said that. So
I know, but I liked her reference more. Only because you haven't seen Prince
I
of
can't
Thieves.
swim.
You're
Oh,
in a
sorry. I
foot
was
of water.
thinking Men in Tights.
Where do you think it comes from? I can't bloody swim. Put your feet down. Oh, it's just much more ridiculous than yours.
But when Kevin Costner sees him, so this mayor is Mayor Tom Petty, because when Kevin Costner sees him, he's like, "Don't I know you?"
Weren't you?
Aren't you famous?
I kind of was. Not anymore.
All right then.
And then, so the 8 arrive, and they're looking for Kevin Costner. So he decides to walk out into the group of all the
But-
unarmed citizens
Sorry.
and stand in the front.
They can't find him because he's bathed recently.
Well,
I don't
this dude
smell
totally
him.
recognizes him, though.
Yeah,
because
he
now
does.
they've seen him clean.
Because it's just
so-
a one horseman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It
the
would
guy
just be
looks
great
right
if-
at him.
That'd be great if that's like his disguise. All right, hold on. I'm gonna bathe and then I'll walk right into the fortress. No one will
You know,
ever see me
speaking of
coming.
that, a lot of the people in this bridge city were kind of dirty.
Also,
You literally have running water at all times. Just
You-
reach over the bridge and splash.
Wayne Static is doing it.
Yeah, there's a kid in the back who looks an awful lot like Wayne Static.
Yeah, he
if he
does.
didn't have product in his hair, but he's been doing it for so many years, it won't go down.
Yeah, you brush it. Yeah, you brush it.
so this is still the part where this kid has not ever seen this man. He's a
This
new
is
He's a new person of the 8.
What's a postman?
This is the 8, the holiness or whatever.
No, the
Wholeness.
guy did recognize him. He looks right at him, and he's like,
Oh yeah. He
That's
doesn't
him.
break. He does not break his gaze from that fucking.
yeah.
dude.
And I think that's
Okay.
why like they decide they need to do something. Like Kevin Costner's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta fucking go, man.
Yeah, I'll kill you guys. So
And the kids who followed him, which is Opie,
Boney's
the
daughter,
faculty and the faculty.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. That
they
explains
give
it perfectly.
they give him the postman hat, and that's when Tom Petty's like, "Wait, bruh, are you the postman?" I don't know why he's fucking Bob Dylan.
Because he
You're the
kind of is.
postman,
'Cause he is.
man.
He's like, I gotta ride for you. You're gonna
You're
love this.
famous, man.
It's just another pacing problem because it's like Kevin Costner and Abby they shut it down. They walked away from everything. And then an hour later, a day later, who knows? They're like, we got to put this fucking postman hat back on. We got to get the gang back together.
Yeah.
Do it.
And so Tom Petty's going to send him out on this like cable car, but when he's going up the stairs for this, Tom Petty goes by him on this
On
little
an
lift,
elevator?
and he's got like these fucking goggles on, and I was like, what is this steampunk shit going on
I
right
love
here?
it,
And he goes
though.
by and he's just like, man, you're going to love this, as he's like riding by him.
You're gonna love the second shoot.
We haven't talked about one point. This whole fucking movie is an awesome Fallout game.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And Tom Petty is the fucking best NPC. Like, he is the mayor of Bridgetown.
You're also gonna get a bunch of shit from him. This is the guy on the
Oh,
side
yeah.
that you need to reload your shit with.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
that extra gun.
This is a legendary quest, dude.
100%.
Well, because he's going to send you away on this cable car, and then it's going to take you 11 hours to walk back to this town to collect your fucking quest. So you better get something
Oh,
for it.
I want to play this game.
Yeah. Also, this
I think
cable
we
car,
did. It was called New Vegas.
I wish it had Tom Petty.
this cable car he gets in though. That looks like a fun ride.
Yeah. It also looks like shit.
Oh, the Tom Petty line though, like he's talking about give me full power, and all of a sudden the transformer or whatever it is just starts sparking, and he jumps back. He's like, working perfectly, dude.
Yeah, he's weaseling his way through this role. Oh man, this fucking cable car is awesome.
I could be son-in-law, dude.
Grindage.
Yeah.
So yeah, they send him off, and it's this really bad CG composite kind of shot. But also, there is a real cable car that Kevin Costner's in for like the wide shots.
Yes.
but it's just the close-ups because obviously they couldn't get a camera.
Anytime
up
it's
there.
showing the back, the big falls or the city, it's superimposed, man.
I'm sorry, say that
the
again?
fuck is
The
superimposed
fuck
mean?
is superimposed. Back when Adam Sandler was funny.
Yeah, from one of the albums.
Yep, got it. Go.
All right.
I think Whitney's done with us.
But Kevin Costner was really in this cable car. He really did all of his horse stunts, and there was another part that he did a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I wouldn't really call this a stunt.
That's only
He's
because you
just-
can't find a wig that looks like his weird hair.
No, you can't.
He's got a balding mullet, dude, where
The
that
only-
is just party as shit in the back and light business up top.
The only way you can have somebody portray him is if he's wearing his hat.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you could do that. Put that postman hat on.
Yep. But you
Oh, I
wear it
thought you were
backwards
talking.
because it
I
makes
was
you look cool.
100% thinking about his cowboy hat in Yellowstone, and I was
Well,
like, no,
they,
there's
they
definitely
learned
a
it from
stuntman.
they learned it from this.
Well, no, he puts his hat on backwards because it's cool. We missed that like an hour ago. I just had.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
was 2
right.
or 3 hours ago.
Dude, that was like 9 months ago.
But so they send him off because there's more towns where he can go recruit people. And all I could think, like, especially when they cut to the next scene of like this army approaching. And I guess this is the town they're already at, the eights.
It have to be.
But yeah, all I could think was these people are happy farming and Will Patton's going to show up and start murdering people. But he's already there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an army on each side of you. You don't care who wins. You're dead.
But yeah, so this
Not a lie.
postal army comes over the ridge. And Will Patton's like, fuck yeah, somebody finally with the balls to bring the fight to me.
There
Yeah.
was a firefight.
Exactly.
Love it.
Except there's not a firefight.
Because
Yeah.
what happens?
It's a little anticlimactic, but Kevin Costner comes out with a white flag to parlay with...
I hope this
Sir, that's a
motherfucker
used
is not.
handkerchief.
I hope this motherfucker is not giving up.
Yeah, Will Patton's like, oh man, don't fucking give up.
I got the guns back there. We're really amping
But I
up for a
really like
fight.
what happens right now.
Do
I'm
you?
happy with
Yeah?
it.
Okay.
I am.
I'm not faulting you for that.
It's a realistic fight
Yes.
because Kevin Costner and Will Patton face off.
Well, no, what
they're
he says,
discussing-
like what he does right now, he's
Right,
like,
that's what I'm...
I'm claiming. No, the fact that he's like,
How did he get to the fight?
Rule 7.
That's
he's
what
like,
I was just getting to, yeah.
okay, go for it.
You can go ahead.
He's like-
You're like, no, and I'm like,
Because
yeah,
you're
what I
talking
was
about
just
the
about
actual
to say.
fight. Whatever. I'm drunk. Kevin Costner says,
I
I
think you
call
guys
Rule
should duel
7.
it out right now.
Oh, you want me to
Law
watch him
7.
You want to watch me take him down and
You
Never
wouldn't
mind,
cut his
you-
tongue out though.
I'll
Needs
sit on it.
Yo, that'll show him.
I cut his tongue in.
He's like, I call Rule 7. I can overthrow or
I can
I
challenge.
challenge. I challenge the person. He's
But
like,
wait. No, you
you're
can't
not
do that.
exactly. Oh, you want to bet?
Hey, you're not a
Rip my
Klansman.
sleeve off.
Which why rip the sleeve off? Take it. Take
This
it
is the
out.
only coat in this entire movie that isn't patched together from 75 other coats.
It was,
And Kevin
Derek, it
Costner's like,
was.
fuck this coat.
And then he's got the 8 branded on his arm, and then Patton's like, "You are Shakespeare."
No. He says one more time. He's like, "How do I know you?" And fucking Kevin Costner just like let slip the dog, cry havoc, and says some
He-
Shakespeare
he-
shit. And he's like, now I know you.
Now
Yeah.
you're He says Shakespeare.
There's just no way you forget this fucking dude as much as you latched onto him as soon as he was in your camp.
Yeah.
And then like Costner like runs across the fucking army of Pattons and is like
show him
showing off his 8. And then
I love it.
Patton's
That's
like,
fucking terrifying. Like you thought the end of the Matrix 2 or 3 or whatever
That's
was
all
weird.
I thought was Agent Smith army, but it's an army of Pattons.
Well,
That
it's just
would be
funny because
terrifying.
this scene
Oh my god,
is
they're all
like-
painting each other.
this scene right here is directly from that exact Matrix fight because they ride the horses at each other to have
Yeah.
this battle and they jump off their horses and collide midair just like when fucking
That's
Neo's fighting Agent Smith.
They went to go joust, like, oh shit, we forgot our fucking poles. Just
They-
jump at each other.
I mean, I would, and I would do the lion thing. I would jump and then fucking slip
Oh,
at
the old jump, lay, swipe. So now you're jumping and in midair laying down whilst swiping.
You jump up and push your feet out, and then you.
She learned
Whitney
these,
would be the head of the clan.
she learned these tricks from watching
That's a C.
those latter day Die Hard movies where he was a superhero.
I saw this in Fast and Furious 8.
But then they slam into each other and they have this little ground tussle, and this is like a realistic fight. Like it's just two
This is
kind
actually
of
I've witnessed
almost
this
middle-aged
fight.
dudes rolling around in the dirt.
Yeah. There's no kung fu. There's no karate. It is
I
like
have witnessed this.
I'm just trying to grab what I fucking can of you.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
I've seen
strangle
this
you,
fight
pinch
when I was
you.
in high school.
Two men tossling each other because they don't know how to throw a fucking punch.
Yeah.
Will Patton has Kevin Costner at a disadvantage, and he's holding him, and he's about to kill him, and he yells, "I believe in the United States."
Yeah, because his whole speech is like, you know why you'll always lose? You believe in nothing.
Yeah.
You have nothing. You'll fight for nothing. And he's like, I believe in United States of America.
Yeah, it's not, the woman I love or my family or my unborn child.
Or
It's-
these kids, like these boys and girls that depend on me.
Yeah,
No.
these children that have been
It's the
making
United
this-
States of America that essentially has failed them.
It's this
into an
abstract concept
apocalypse.
that doesn't exist. That is what he believes in. I believe in Santa Claus.
And he just patriot blasts.
And so he ends up almost killing Will Patton. And he's like,
Yeah,
no.
he punches him like he's just
Dude,
like
he
pop,
pummels
pop,
the
pop,
fuck out of
pop,
this dude.
pop.
And then he has the sword on him, and he's like, no, we don't have to kill each other.
Ford
This can
comes
be
up with a
differently.
fucking revolver.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
he
he starts
does.
reciting those 8 rules. He's like, no. Rule 4, mercy is for the weak. Rule 8, the only penalty is death. And he's going to fucking blast Will Patton.
Rule 9, sweep the
And
fucking
then-
kids.
And then we have a glimpse at the general or colonel or whatever the fuck he
Getty.
is.
Getty.
Getty. We have a glimpse at Getty
The
being
eunuch.
like, Patton's right hand man coming up with his gun, like he's like, no.
He starts watching when Kevin Costner gets the upper hand. He has this look like, oh, fuck, someone's going to do it.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, 'cause-
I should have
'cause-
laid on top of him and thrown fucking fists in his face.
Yeah, because we mentioned that he fought Patton at one point, but he was the last person to challenge him.
I'll
Nobody
give you what
did ever
Idaho
since.
says too. It's way back, but he's like, yeah, you're thinking about trying to take him on. The last person that challenged him was Getty. The fight lasted 6 seconds. But he didn't kill him. He cut his tongue and then cut off his balls. 6 seconds.
And now he follows him around like a lapdog.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even long enough to win a bull riding event.
yeah.
It's not long enough to get a boner.
Oh, I could go faster than that.
You get a boner in less than 6 seconds.
Yeah. It depends what I'm looking at or touching or
I
smelling.
could also lose my boner in less than 6 seconds.
Oh, and
Depends.
don't know that.
Come
I don't know
on,
that.
Come on, don't agree.
No, I actually don't know that, but I do know that you can get.
Well,
it more
I'm gonna
than
go
6
kill
seconds.
myself.
Well, this is on air. I'm gonna be like
This
that.
is live
I'm like that
stream.
congressman from the '80s or whatever that shot himself on TV. I'm gonna do it on a podcast.
Hey man, nice shot.
But it'll never be released because you guys can't edit this. Just put up the raw files.
Oh man.
But yeah, so he says new rules. Rule number 1: no more killing. And then Patton takes the gun from Ford, or Ford dropped the gun, right? So Patton picks it
Yeah.
up, and he starts threatening them. Yeah, and then Getty blasts him right through the fucking chest. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It
You
is
hear a
lot of blood.
gunshot and then big bada boom in your chest.
Yeah.
And then Ford says, "Rule 8: live and let live." Oh, that's when he drops the gun, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, so now we have to have 8 rules? We got to come up with 6 more rules?
Why are we doing this?
You could have just said Rule 2: live and let live, and we could go from there.
shoehorned us in, pal.
Because Will Patton is dead, all of his bloodthirsty soldiers are like, cool, we're peaceful now.
I mean, I think he's trying to tell us without telling us that they didn't want to be there in the first place.
It was
You
all
know,
ruling by fear.
Yeah, exactly. But there would be some people that are like, no, it's my turn to shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody would try.
Yeah.
It's happy. It's cute, but it's not real.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we cut to 30 years in the future.
No,
And,
no,
Well,
there's
I
one
guess
more
there's the
scene.
baby.
There is the baby.
We cut to 4 months later. The
Which is-
Abby is reading a letter. Oh, it's from your daddy. He says that he loves you and misses you and can't wait to see you. And then Kevin Costner's in the doorway. He's like, the mail's slow. I'll talk to them about that.
And that's the only
And-
way we know how to tell time, by the way, is that 4 months later.
Yeah.
And now we cut 30
it's
years
now,
later.
But
Now
now
it's-
he's the daddy.
But
He's
that
not just
baby
a
is
body
born-
daddy.
Now it's
that baby is
2043.
named after him. It's Postman Malone.
No, it's a girl and her name is Hope.
No, it's a boy named Postman Malone, and his facial tattoos will lead you to dry land.
Yes.
I guess in this case, you're looking for wetland.
So
It's
but-
out there. Wetland. It's not
But her
bad.
name, it's a girl and her name is Hope.
Yeah, of course it is.
'Cause
Which
fuck
is
you.
dumb. And then
Fucking
then we
hippie
cut to 30
bullshit.
years later, and the town is called St. Rose, Oregon, which we didn't mention, but that's the mythical town that he's searching for. Like in every post-apocalypse movie,
There's always some sort of
there's
sanctuary.
some magic place that nobody knows of.
Yep.
And
But he didn't find his. He made his.
and everybody's wearing contemporary 1997 clothing.
Yep.
And they're
I'm
having
like,
this statue
what the
unveiling.
fuck?
Members only jackets.
I don't know who made this statue in this post-apocalypse, but they deserve a medal of their
Yes,
own.
this
but they'd have to
bronze-
make it. But like,
Yeah, I'll give myself that medal, thank you.
because they have the statue, and it's the scene where Kevin Costner is grabbing the letter from the little kid.
And there's a man in the crowd that was like, that was me. I was that
That
kid.
was me. Who wants my autograph? $50.
Please film me. Please make me relevant. Life has no meaning. My wife beats me.
That's the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie.
And then during the credits, we get a song called "You Don't Have to Love So Much" or some stupid shit.
Far
you don't
down
have to
in
be
the
so
credits.
nice.
You don't have to be
Far-
so nice.
You
Far
didn't have to be so
down.
nice.
Yeah, it's score first, and then it goes into the song.
It is Amy Grant, who's like a contemporary religious artist,
Yes.
and Kevin Costner himself.
Yes.
Speaking of Post Malone, Kevin Costner on auto-tune.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you hear him sing, because she sounds great, by the way.
Yeah.
Because she's a vocalist. She knows what she's
He's-
doing.
He is trying to sing in an octave that's too high for him.
Well, but you can just hear that the voice is being flattened by computer stuff.
Look,
Definitely.
here's the deal. I love Kevin Costner.
If he went lower, it would have been better.
as an actor. It's just a case of like didn't
It's
Johnny
like Bruce
Depp try
Willis.
and Bruce Willis didn't Johnny Depp try and be a musician?
Johnny Depp is in a band with Alice Cooper.
Oh god.
If he
The
went
Hollywood
lower,
vampires.
it would have been better. I
It's-
said what I said.
It's like Jared Leto if he was good at one thing
If he wasn't trying to get to Mars in 30 seconds.
and ruining every movie he touches. He's good at
I loved him
nothing.
in My So-Called Life. Okay, fuck you.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I think I mentioned it on the last episode, but I saw the video of the guy asking people, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" All the celebrities.
Yeah.
Jared Leto was one of them, and he looked like fucking Jared Leto, so he looked insane. He's like, "What do you do for a living?" And I'm pretty sure his response was like, "Just like whatever I need to, man." And he just like walks away, something along those
There
lines.
was
I
somebody
like,
else
yeah.
that was like, fuck you.
Oh yeah, no, there were people who were
Who
like,
was
eat a
that?
dick. It was funny though. The people who definitely responded with what they really did were all like rappers and producers. Like one of them was like, "My name is such and such. I produce hits. Like hit
You
me
can
up."
find me
yeah,
at-
exactly.
No, there was somebody in particular was like,
can't
you get
remember.
that fucking camera out of my fucking face.
Yeah.
Sounds like Tobey Maguire.
No, it sounded, I swear to God,
Somebody
it
from
was
the
like
Pussy Posse.
Steven Seagal.
So, being
Steven
that
Seagal is not in the United States anymore. It wouldn't have
No,
been
he
him.
No?
ain't welcome
No,
here.
he
He's
is
been in
not
Russia
welcome
for a
here. Yeah,
while.
he's in
Russia?
Russia.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is news to you.
He was Donald Trump's liaison to Russia, and now he lives there.
And
Okay,
apparently,
then.
Russia is making a bunch of like sequels to his movies that they don't have the rights to, like Deadly Ground 9.
So we'll
or
have to watch
whatever,
them on the
fucking-
internet?
Yeah,
And not
my
streaming, but like
like
pirating.
dark webs. I want to go around real quick because it's either your first or your second time watching this.
I'm going to say it's really my first because I feel like my parents were watching and I was bored, so I left.
So give me a review of this 3-hour vehicle.
Honestly, I thought it was a good movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, I followed it greatly except for the timeline. That was my biggest issue, was the fucking timeline. But, I mean, yeah, it's a 3-hour movie. Granted, I'd been drinking all day today. It did not feel like a 3-hour movie to me.
Well, if you've been drinking all day, one of two things is going to happen when you watch a 3-hour movie. Either it feels like a 6-hour movie, or it feels like a 1.5-hour movie.
Exactly.
Third option, you fall asleep.
And I did not fall asleep, and it
Yeah.
did not feel like a 6-hour movie. So
You
it
weren't as
moved
tired as you were for
Monday. Yeah. No.
Otherwise, we'll be mad.
Yeah, watch out, we're mad.
So I thought it was very, the cinematography was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
That needs
I mean,
to
this
get,
guy learned how to do horses, and then he did cars.
I mean, there you go.
Different fast, different furious.
I'll
Derek,
recommend.
yeah, how about you?
It'll be a soft recommend. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be way too slow and way too long, and I think that's why I've never gone back and revisited it. It was long. It was slow in parts, but I was interested in what was happening. I gave a shit about the movie. I did feel the Kevin Costner self-pleasuring at some scenes.
You're gonna.
I mentioned to you guys while we were watching it, I felt like the scenes where it was him alone, and since he's directing it, I was like, I know there's a whole crew there, but I felt like it was just him and a cameraman, and he's like, don't you take that camera off me.
I have a question for you. Gun to your head, you have to choose one or the other. This movie or Pearl Harbor?
Well, this movie.
Oh yeah, that's not even close.
Yeah, no, I don't want to ever watch Pearl Harbor. I was talking about doing it for It's Gonna Be Bay, and now we're not doing a whole month of Michael Bay, and I'm like, cool.
No.
Jack, what do you think of this movie?
As the Kevin Costner fan here, yeah, easy recommend for me. I like this for myself as a sick day movie.
Okay.
You're on the couch, you got your whatever's in reach of you, your water, your OJ, your tea, whatever chicken noodle remedy you have, put this on because you ain't getting up for a while. But I love it. It doesn't feel 3 hours to me. He's in this movie.
Could you imagine if this movie was on like TNT?
No. Good
Like
God.
you wake
That's
up
a 4-hour block.
Oh, that might be
at
5.
least, yeah. You
That
wake
might
up,
be
you wake up
fucking
hungover.
5.
You're like, yeah, I'll watch The Postman. You fall asleep. You wake up. You fall asleep. You wake up. It's dinner time. It's still on.
The fucking donkey's still alive? So it's 2 recommends and 1 soft. I think
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, I'd give it a recommend if you want to
that
watch a
is
very long
better than I
movie.
thought I was going to get out of this.
I
fucking room.
did not go into this thinking I was going to recommend it. I enjoy Kevin Costner enough. I'm not a Costner head as you are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love him in Yellowstone, but that's because he's fucking vicious.
I might be a Costner head.
I think you are too. Well, I can already tell.
I mean,
you're-
one of the reasons I'm like Bull Durham.
I mean, I did buy Waterworld on Blu-ray and then buy it on 4K. So
That's for Dennis Hopper.
I am a Hopper head.
Yeah, you are.
I also have fucking Super Mario Brothers on DVD, Blu-ray, and it's coming on 4K. So yes, I am a Hopper head.
You know what else is coming on 4K?
Sounds like your husband.
Yep.
Squirt, squirt. Squirt, squirt.
What?
So I have my Letterboxd reviews, and I'm going to kick it off with one from a film critic that we are all familiar with,
Ooh.
who has been ranked as one of the most contrarian film critics.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so
Chris Cabin.
Chris
Cabin, who is from another podcast called We Hate Movies. He was also a film critic for a long time. He gave it 1 star, not surprisingly.
Uh-huh.
He hates everything.
He's contrary.
And that's what I thought was funny. He's the most contrarian, but he hated this movie, and so did most people. So it has like a 2.9 or something on Letterboxd. So
I'm guessing he had a big problem with the runtime.
yeah. So there are men who study ancient, grueling forms of yoga and Pilates from birth in monasteries, hidden in the deepest crevices of mountains, never drawn on maps, that will never be able to suck their own dick for half as long or forcefully as Kevin Costner sucks his. If it didn't take 3 weeks to watch this film, you'd almost have to be impressed by that.
I feel like he just fucking hates Kevin Costner.
You know what, though? I don't disagree with what he said.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying earlier, right? I mean, he's jerking himself the whole time. And that's
Yeah.
what he
Yes.
does in his movies. But
If he had the money, wouldn't you?
People won his seed in multitudes of movies of his.
and I have another one from Jordan Beaumont. I think there's more to that name because there's a ... But you know, that's all.
No,
it
it's
says on
Jordan Beaumont.
Here. Beaumont.
Huh?
1.5 stars. Mildly upset Max. It's the whole review.
Who's Max?
Mad Max. Mildly upset Max.
I gotcha.
Made me laugh.
That's good. Now that
And
I
then
get it.
I got a couple of good ones. So I got a 4.5 star review that's just from someone named Game of Roads.
I just left this.
Says, I wish my packages got to me that fast.
Oh,
Shots fired.
don't we all?
At the post office, from the post office.
Don't we all?
And then I have one from Eccles Watching, 5 stars and a little heart. Costner was hard into mythic storytelling in the 90s, and his movies were better for it. A 3-hour Western epic. Dude was a madman, and I've only appreciated every film he's made more as time goes by. That's the big secret. Make something that no one else would at a time when movies are heading in a different direction. Fuck trends. Make the movie you want to make. Kevin Costner knew what the fuck he was doing.
Some of the things he said are right. Some of the things he said are very wrong.
Yes. But, you know, this guy's enthusiastic. Unfortunately, like I was going through so many reviews and I was like, all these 5-star reviews are just like, what's everybody talking about? This movie's awesome. That's pretty much all they said.
You're going to find people that are exactly what you just said, and then you're going to find people that watched it without rose-colored lenses,
I was
guess.
just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's that for this episode.
Yes, it is.
So that was fun.
Yes. I had fun.
Next week, we have a guest returning that's been on here before.
Aww.
Serge from Levian.
Welcome
who
back, Serge.
joined us for Dead Heat back during Trick or Treat Williams month. He's back for Made in Arizona month. He only likes themed months.
Yeah.
Actually, that has nothing to do with him. We're going to be doing a movie called The Laughing Dead, which I have from Vinegar Syndrome, and it was filmed here
give
in
us a
Tucson.
sponsorship.
You do.
Of course I do. Yes, please give us a sponsorship. Send me just You know
Give
what?
me a job.
Give me 40% off on a subscription.
Give me a sticker.
It's right there.
I'm setting my bars low.
But Surge will be back. We'll be doing The Laughing Dead, which was filmed here in Tucson, Arizona. Shot on video. Shitty little stupid movie that's awesome. So we'll do that then. Don't forget to check out the website, badmoviesworstpeople.com. You can find links to our merch. You can find a link to our YouTube page, which we do our New Movies Worst People show. And we've had a couple of really cool episodes. We did Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage. We did The Retirement Plan with Nicolas Cage. We did Sympathy for the Devil with Nicolas Cage.
We did The Bottoms. That did not have Nicolas Cage.
Sadly, no Nick Cage.
Yeah.
But we had Marshawn.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you to Evasion for providing our opening and closing music. I have been Derek.
I'm still Whitney.
I'm drunk.
And don't forget, the postman always comes twice. Costner was hard into mythic Let me try that again. Costner was hard into mythic. Fuck off me.
All right, I want no more bullshit from anyone that includes me.
If you've thought about recording a podcast before, but like myself, realize you need a lot of different tools and services, well, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and easily distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. You can record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests and feel a sense of zen knowing that Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code WORSTPeople. That's WORSEPEOPLE, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.